You want to talk about what we're doing, what I'm doing today? What's going on?
Mr. Bartender over
making
here.
some drinks.
Is there was it mixology? No, that's the study of it.
Yeah.
Mixology.
Maybe we should do that. Like a class in that.
No, I think
Everyone always says that.
They're called mixologists.
Are they?
I think they are.
I think my brother literally tried that too. I think he literally has a book in here that says like that.
Ooh, you had some Smirnoff in yours?
Yeah, mine is Blue Curacao.
Oh.
Also, he already made Catherine with the C's drink.
That was my drink.
How was it, Alex?
It's pretty. It tasted like candy, actually. That's a deadly drink.
Like Catherine
Oh yeah.
with the C.
Take a sip of this. I think it's too much lemonade, honestly.
Oh, that one's pretty good too.
One shot of Blue Curacao.
One shot of Blue Curacao, one shot of vodka,
And then just a bunch of lemonade.
and a bunch of random lemonade.
Yeah.
I'm doing play-by-play here.
Still good though.
It's like we're doing play-by-play. Commentating, we're watching, like, oh, he's grabbing the lemonade. Oh, he's put it back. He's changing his mind.
I don't know if you want to double fist it, Alex.
Pause.
If you want to have your Vincent drink while you have your Casper. Swap between them.
No, I'll finish this one first.
These are drinks inspired by the video game Catherine. We're not just naming these drinks for no reason.
Yeah, no, my next drink shouldn't be that hard to make anyway.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
So, Omar, what are you going to drink? Well, thanks for asking. Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic.
We got you a virgin rum and coke.
We have a virgin rum and coke, aka just a coke.
Alright.
We good?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Backlog Boys podcast. We're a little, well, two of us are a little tipsy here, so let's see how we barrel through this one.
We just started.
That's not what they said earlier.
Listen,
So
I don't
with
have a
me-
problem.
With me, with my two addicts, we have Catherine with a K, Samuel.
Hey, what's up? You should have called me Sam McBride. You should use their last names.
I don't. He doesn't have one.
He's Alex, no last name.
That was Sam. Then we have Catherine with a C, Alex,
I am a Catherine with a C addict. Thank you for noticing.
and then there's me.
I do not plan on getting help.
You sick fucks. And then there's me, Catherine with a Q, Quathrin,
Or
Quomar. Quomar here. I'm just kidding. It's me, Omar. Or Rin, whatever, who cares? Anyways, if you can't tell by all their names, we're talking about the game Catherine, full body to be specific. PS4. Well, it's not exclusive anymore. It's on the Switch now.
it's on the Switch.
Yeah, it is on the
and-
Switch.
Yeah,
I
and
think
the
it's
Vita,
just
I guess.
Oh,
You can't
so a
forget
non-existent
games for
system.
Not anymore.
I think that's been defunct for like years now.
Yeah.
But before we even wrap into that game, or unwrap it, I guess. What's on with you guys? Let's start with
What's
Alexander.
wrong with us?
No, what's up with you guys? See, these two are drinking. You can tell. We'll start with Alex since he's the farthest away from me.
Sure.
Oh. I've bleep that out.
We can curse. We're not a kid-friendly
Bleep it out.
Bleep it
Oh,
out.
poop.
Oh, darn.
God darn it.
No,
shit.
so last week was my sister's 15th birthday, and
Feliz quinceañera.
yeah, quinceañera. So I did the first dancing I've done in years. They kind of like forced me upon it last minute.
Were you good at it?
No.
Did you bust a move?
She started counting, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, keep counting it, or else I'm gonna step on your foot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Other than that, we did something last night.
Yeah, all three of us
Yeah.
collective. One and one.
And my brother.
A ghost. I was
Yeah.
gonna gaslight you. He wasn't there, actually. It was just us three.
Yeah.
We watched the Creator Clash.
That shit was epic.
It
It was
was
pretty good.
much better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a train wreck at first.
Honestly?
I genuinely thought it was gonna
After
be
that
bad.
first fight.
Shout out to Ryan McGee for being a legend.
Well, shout out to Matt Watson for
losing.
immediately setting everybody's like expectation,
Hey.
and then Ryan McGee for breaking those expectations.
On his defense, I've lasted 22 seconds before too. Not in boxing.
To his defense, I've never lasted.
I haven't lasted that long yet. Man. I'm getting there though.
I'm worse than Matt Watson.
Yeah.
None of us can pull a Ryan 5
Oh,
rounds.
5
2 minute
rounds?
5 round. Ooh, baby.
Judge unanimous decision.
I kept getting back. You remember that South Park episode where Randy said, "I didn't hear no bell"?
Oh yeah,
That was Sam.
Ryan.
Can you like Photoshop Ryan in that?
I'll find that. Yeah, I'll find that. I'll
as
put it
opposed to
up.
Rocky,
post it
let's just
up.
show like Randy from South Park.
Yeah, it's
The
so good.
unflattering picture.
The other fights were pretty good too. A big one was the Michael Reeves fight versus
It's like Graham something.
Graham Stephen, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, that was a
Michael Reeves was actually really good at
Yeah.
it.
You're surprisingly like really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found out like after the whole event that he was wearing like a Minecraft creeper like mouth guard.
And he pointed at it, but we couldn't really tell.
Yeah. But that was great. Like, he was definitely, like, taking it seriously, like, in terms of training. But when he was actually there, he was, like, goofing around. So that was pretty funny.
Until he got in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then that one guy.
Which one?
Was he? I can do things.
I did a thing.
I did a thing.
Oh yeah.
That guy was like the most flamboyant. He's like a perfect like WWE wrestler. Like he was just so flamboyant during the entrance.
Yeah.
His match was like whatever.
Our stream kept getting corrupted during that.
Yeah, that was the fighting that is like buffered the most.
Yeah.
But he was just fun. Like he made me excited. His match just wasn't great, but like his pre-match was fun.
Yeah.
Well, he just like bodied the odds one out.
Yeah.
Like,
Smashed his fucking face.
it was a pretty one-sided affair.
And the girl fight was good too. I already forgot their names. Minx
and Yodeling Haley.
Yeah, that was surprisingly also. Was that 5 rounds? No, they stopped it. Remember?
I think it was 4. Yeah.
They stopped it.
It was a good one too.
That was pretty good. Yeah, in general, like there wasn't any bad fights. Oh, actually,
There was a 22-second match.
yeah.
And then there was kind of like a buffer match.
There was it was like 2 old men fighting.
Yeah, like a 37-year-old and like a 35-year-old.
Yeah, it was fine, but like there wasn't anything that was like, oh man, this is like, I can't watch this anymore.
I really do think Ryan stole the show.
100%.
Twitter was just simping for Ryan right after.
No one thought that one was going to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
Especially after Matt.
Especially after Matt, yeah.
Oh, so for those who don't know, Matt and Ryan are from Super Mega.
Yeah, the iconic YouTube
Yeah.
I think they're more known for their editing for Markiplier and Game Grumps.
Oh yeah. Didn't they in their introductions
Yeah,
they
that's what
put
they said.
former employees from Markiplier and Game
Yeah.
Grumps. It was great.
I feel like we should edit some of this out. I feel like we're talking way too much about this.
Fuck you.
No,
I don't want to keep talking about fucking other content creators. Not us.
What's up with you?
Yeah,
Let's go back to
how
Sam.
about
No,
you?
I'll go last.
Me?
Yeah, you go next, Sam.
Oh, dude, we just got back from eating some very.
I love when we
mid-
talk about things that just happened yesterday and today. Nothing happened the last month.
Well, in the last month, I mean, I read that book I was talking about last time we recorded. I half read it. It's really good. Crying in H Mart. It's kind of somber, so I don't really want to get into it. Like, it's not. You're coming here for the goofs and the gaffs, and that's just very sad and like, oh man, my mom died, kind of thing, you know.
But then I laughed.
And then I laughed. But I do want to talk about today. Omar recommended that we go to this noodle place
To be fair,
in a nearby town.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
And, I was like, why not? Omar knows what's up usually, right? So we get there, and it's fine. It's empty and quiet. There's not even music playing in the background.
Bathroom was scary.
Bathroom was scary. I asked for ginger ale, thinking I was going to get like a Canada Dry, and they gave me some other drink.
It was strong.
It was like bottled ginger, like the actual like freaking root, you know? And the noodles were fine, I guess. But, it was okay.
In my defense, I just asked about that place. I was like, have you guys heard of this place? And that's all I asked.
Oh.
And you were just like, yeah, we can go. And I was like, I was just asking if you
the
heard of it.
dumplings, which is what the place is named after, was
That's
pretty
true.
good.
Those were decent. But,
Yeah, I just asked about it. I didn't really.
and then I
was like, yeah, we'll go.
I recommended like, oh, let's get some ice cream on the way back. And we did, and it was pretty good.
First time having sorbet. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It was really good, actually.
That was really good because I'm lactose intolerant. I'll shit my pants if I drink milk.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, what ice cream do you want? I'm like, anything that doesn't make me poop my pants, please. It
Yeah, and I'm just not really an ice cream kind of guy, so I got a sorbet too.
was really good.
Yeah. So that's all I've been up to. And aside from studying up mixology to
Mixology
learn
over
some
here.
drink making skills.
Obviously, because it's an audio podcast, this room is just the table is filled with alcohol and drinks.
Yeah, it's nice, man. I want to take a class in mixology at some point. I think it'd be really cool to learn how to do that. Like,
Maybe it
professionally.
wasn't so smart to put all those drinks next to a TV.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna spill something.
No, I'll be fine.
It's not my actual. That's the one I'm using, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was my real TV, I would not allow that.
No. Like if I put it next to your new computer. It's all sticky from the syrup now.
Much like JoJo, sticky fingers, see?
Oh
no.
These two.
Not my Razer keyboard.
These two wee beds.
yeah.
Yeah, Alex, the wee bit. One with the samurai like top fucking hair over here.
I thought you were gonna say something about my shirt, so I looked down.
It's also JoJo inspired.
Omar, what have you been up to?
So me, right? Me, and me. That's all I've been up to. Besides, I was gonna say a joke. I'm not gonna finish that joke, but I think last time we asked this, the NBA playoffs just started. How it is now, we're 2 game 7s are actually happening right now. Actually, I'm not gonna check, but there are 2 game 7s going on. But we're at the conference final. Sadly, my team was eliminated first round, like I thought it was gonna happen.
Okay.
And I'm depressed about that.
Good.
But I'm excited because conference finals and then finals, baby. It's gonna be some big games. It's gonna be a bunch of good young teams. Another thing I'm excited about that just came out 2 days ago, but I haven't have time to listen to it, is a Kendrick Lamar's new album came out.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I've only listened to
I've heard a couple of them.
The Heart 5.
They're good.
Because that came out beforehand. That shit's so good. But I just haven't had time because literally I went from work to hanging out with you guys yesterday to work to hanging out with you guys again. So I just have not had any time to listen to it.
Sam, your favorite band dropped a song.
Oh my God, My Chemical Romance came out with a new song on.
Two big musical events happened.
It's iconic. Dude.
One's very iconic.
One is super iconic. Well,
and
actually,
then there's My Chemical Romance.
Kendrick does make good music. But
Kendrick
he
is
makes
good.
this is
great
big. They
music.
broke up like 8 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't like
So they're just dropping a song out of nowhere. It's like,
Well, they've been like kind of getting back together.
Yeah.
They've been doing tours. I'm gonna go see them at Riot Fest. Meet me at Riot Fest. But
yeah, I'll be there too.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Not me.
And I just thought they were just gonna get back together and play some old songs. But it seems like they're working on new stuff, and I'm really excited.
Speaking of meet me in real life, I'm also going to an event, just not Riot Fest. I'm going to an anime convention. Ironically, not on purpose, because me and my brother bought tickets in 2019.
Jesus.
Because COVID happened, it canceled 2020 and 2021, so they just kept rolling over. So if I got it in the mail one day, and I was like, "What is this?" I thought it was like a spam thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I opened it, and I'm like, "Oh." I almost said my full name. It's like, "Oh, Omar, look at this badge. You full access, full weekend." And I was like, I texted my brother and I was like, "Do you remember this?" He's like, "Oh shit, I forgot to cancel it."
Oh my God.
Well, I guess we're going.
Yeah, so that happened, and we had to push up this Catherine recording.
This Catherine was gonna be the weekend of the event.
Yeah.
Sadly, that happened like last month. I
Yeah,
think.
then
Yeah.
I had to rush to get this game done because I had finals last week.
Yeah, and I just had a lot of free time to beat this game, so you know.
Yeah,
And I
all
had
good.
all the time.
yeah,
But-
you beat it before all of us. You're trying to plan them it.
That's ridiculous.
To be fair, I have no life. But the perfect segue
Yeah.
to our actual video game, Catherine Full Body, a remake of the PS3 classic Catherine.
From 2011.
Classic Catherine, as
Yeah.
people like to call it.
Yeah.
I'm not no stats and facts and what's that kind of guy. I think someone else has that kind of info,
Oh yeah.
but not with that name because that's only made for movies.
That's copyrighted by Omar.
Copyrighted by
He's got the
at the
trademark.
cinema. So Samuel,
Yeah.
you got some interesting factoids to give us.
I got the whole story, brother. I got the Bible right here of Catherine.
Oh my
No.
god!
Open it up.
Yeah, so the original Catherine from 2011 was made as like a tester almost for working in HD. Everything Atlus had made before that was in the PS2 era, and before that it was like on the SNES and N64 and all that. So they needed to do something, and they didn't want to jump right into Persona 5 after making Persona 4. This game actually started being developed right as Persona 4 was being wrapped up. So the lead director, the lead character design artist, and the lead music producer from Persona 4 moved over to this game to start working on it. And actually, as like a teaser almost, they put Vincent in the Persona 3 portable version of the game. In the female route, you can run into him and he starts talking about like the stuff that's in the game, like as a teaser for the next thing that
I don't think
Atlus
his
is working on.
picture's in it though, right? It's
No,
just
he
like
is.
dialogue.
Yeah, it's his picture.
Oh, he has his picture.
He looks a bit more fucked up though.
Yeah, I think he has a mole in it too.
Oh.
Because I think they later said like, because people were like, "Oh, Catherine's in the same universe as Persona," and they're like, "No, like that was just like a different guy." Like,
Half of the name of
similar
his-
things happen to him.
yeah, it's just a cameo, really.
Yeah.
There's not really any story implications to that whole thing.
I think I might know why too.
Yeah.
But go, yeah.
But actually, I found this out recently. I didn't know. I've always wondered why they never made another Catherine game. And it's because they had a lot of trouble making this game because it was in HD and they're working on multiple platforms, and because it's something that they had never made before, because Atlus is mostly JRPGs. They're like, we're not making another Catherine or a spin-off or anything. Like, this is the one. That's
One
it.
and done.
One and done.
I mean, it's a pretty big one and pretty good one.
It's
and
a
done.
really well-made one and done, personally.
It's better one and done than multiple and disappointed afterwards.
Yeah, but aside from like moving away from the RPG type of gameplay, they also wanted to make something that's more adult focused. Like Persona is like kind of adult focused, but
But
it's
they're
mostly
like
for
they're high
teens.
schooler kids.
Yeah, and like
even like Persona 5, like it teased like, oh, you're gonna reject the shackles of
Adulthood.
society,
Yeah.
and that really didn't happen.
Yeah.
You're just a high school boy.
yeah.
and the Shin Megami Tensei games are rated M, but they're also like still like they're fantastical. They're not realistic. There's no realistic adult content
They're rated M?
in their repertoire. They are, yeah, they're rated M.
All even Persona games are rated M too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So they wanted to make something made for modern day adults, but at the same time also like they decided it would appeal to Western audiences more by setting it in like a United States, North American area. And they were kind of developing it out. I think the director wrote all the story by himself before he like talked to anyone else about it, and then he was like, here, look at what I got.
That's a dangerous plan.
Yeah, and it was kind of dangerous because I guess Vincent was very unlikable in the original version of the game. So they interviewed all the staff about like, oh, well, like what are relationships like in your history? And one girl on the staff mentioned that she had dreams of killing people or something. Like at one point, like that was something that stuck with her. Like I had this one dream where I killed somebody. And it was so weird.
Both me and Alex's eyes widened immediately when he said that. But I know, again, we're not running audio only, but we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That took a turn.
And I think that's where the idea of like people getting killed in the dreams came from that one worker at Atlus.
Thank you, lady.
Yeah.
I don't want to run into her.
And they also like in order to make it more sympathetic, they added a whole fantasy aspect to the game, because I guess originally it was just supposed to be like everything's real, everything's possible, but then they're like, this kind of sucks for Vincent. He looks like more of a douchebag. Let's like add some fantasy elements to make it seem a little less so. And then I actually found some interesting stuff about Atlus USA that they had to deal with in localization. They didn't have to deal with like translation issues or anything. There was stuff with like the game puts quotes up during loading screens.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and all those quotes were like in Japanese, obviously, but they're also like from Japanese authors or like from this like quote book, and all the authors were uncredited in that book. So they decided to just find their own quotes to put in the game.
Wow, that's pretty cool actually, because a lot of the quotes make sense. Because some of the quotes will make sense for the scene that just happened.
Yeah, so they had to go out of the way to find those quotes, but that's actually not the most work they had to do with this game. The most work they had to do with this game was getting them to sell it in Target and Walmart. Those specific retailers said no, like this is too explicit, too saucy, especially because in the before the release of the game, Atlus kept going, this is like an adult-oriented game with like real-world like possibility stuff, like you're going to be dealing with adult themes. And Walmart and Target said, no, we can't hold that game. And then Atlus USA went and made a compilation of like the games that Walmart and Target were selling, and it's like, here's all the stuff in your game.
I always say, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah, here's
like they sell some crazy. I always never understood when companies are like, that's too mature. Then like they'll be promoting like Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, that's really bad.
So they made a compilation of all the stuff that's in other games that those stores are selling, and then showed it to them and like showed it to the representative and said, our game doesn't have that.
Checkmate, bitch.
And then they said, here's the worst that our game gets. They showed it to them, and then they went, okay, like yeah, you're right. Sure, you can sell the game. And then some other stores still were kind of a bit of a prude. Same thing in Japan too, actually, because the box art features Catherine like with a C, like she's in a bra and she's kind of suggestively looking at you.
The straps are like off the shoulders.
Yeah. So
there's another cover. Have you seen the other?
The Xbox version.
Yeah, the Xbox is different.
And she's like kind of leaning over, and her butt's kind of sticking down.
Well, her ass is like the main focus.
But there's toned down versions of both of those cover arts.
Really?
Like I think the Catherine with a K one is just zoomed in closer to her face.
Makes sense.
And then the Catherine with a C one, I don't know the difference, but there's something different with it that's more like
put a shirt on.
Maybe.
They blurred out the cleavage.
Maybe. So there's like 4 versions of the original game in terms of cover art. There's the regular stuff and then the less suggestive stuff. And then when you get to full body, I think they had to do a similar thing, because the cover art for full body is not that bad, but it is all them kind of like putting Vincent between their breasts.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty wild.
It's kind of wild. But
and cause I have I think we all have like the special version of it already.
Yeah.
They're like right in front of us, right over there.
Yeah.
The steelbook of it, it's like all the 3 girls like kind of spread out, but they have clothes on. But in the art book, they have like what they wanted to, with them just being their bra and panties.
Yeah.
But they obviously had to, censor this. So they're just wearing their regular clothes in the cover.
So they've kind of had to work around with a lot of the cover art stuff. But when it comes to full body, actually, development for that began after Persona 5 was released, and they wanted to create like a definitive version of one of their classic, like most unconventional games. Like that was the main mission statement for that one. And the keyword during development for that game was like diversity, but not in like diversity in an American sense. It was like diversity in story content and diversity in gameplay. So like they introduced characters like Rin, they added like different areas to Babel, and then they changed some scenes and added new stuff. Now, I will say, I've played the original, and a lot of the new stuff they've added seems kind of clunky. Like, it's like they, like, cut open the game and then spread it out. Like what's the word? Like, they cut it and then, like,
opened it up.
Like, wedged in the new stuff.
It's like when you play, like, fucking that doctor, like, Operation, and you put the wrong shit in there, but you're like, fuck it, whatever.
Did it feel like that to you, Omar?
Well, I never played original Catherine.
Yeah, like, so without it.
I think... I'll let him finish explaining. I think I know what he might be talking about.
Yeah. There's a couple scenes where like they'll just start a conversation with the new full body stuff, and then like all of a sudden it'll just go anyways, and then get right into the main stuff. Like it's very kind of apparent if you've played the original game, but if you haven't, it's kind of seamless. I wish they did what they did with Persona 5 Royal, where the new content is like almost like blended into the main content.
It's not though.
I think it is. There's a lot of scenes in there that in Persona 5 that are changed throughout the game.
We're talking about Persona 5. The Maruku scenes were
good. Those were good. The stuff that's added on at the end makes sense. Like
No.
it's but I'm saying like
they added him perfectly throughout the whole story.
Exactly.
But with the other character, what was her name? Kasumi. That wasn't like she showed up one time, two to three times.
No, I think she's blended in throughout the story
Not
more
really.
so than Catherine with a Q. Because there's not stuff that's exclusively added just for her. In this game, in Catherine Full Body, all the new stuff is just like, here's where Q comes in. Here's where Catherine with a Q comes in.
So I jumped into both Persona 5 and Catherine with the like definitive edition version, and Persona 5 felt like very clunky with these new characters they introduced. I felt like Catherine with a Q should have been there from the beginning, or it felt like she was there from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean they do like introduce that with opening cutscenes, and really quickly, just like with all these Catherines, I found the keywords and I thought it was interesting. Catherine with a K, when they designed her and made her character, they wanted her to be cool, cold as ice kind of thing. And Catherine with a C was like hot and like very like fiery, passionate.
She is.
So when they wanted to introduce a new Catherine, they're like, well, we have fire and we have ice kind of thing. So what do we do? And then they decided to stick away from like the heat aspect and they changed it to cute. So all Catherine with the Q stuff is all cutesy and like kind of chibi, and she's into all these like kitty things, but it's like cute, and that's her main hook.
Omar over here drooling.
He's drooling.
I was waiting for you to finish. I'd be like, yeah, I agree.
And I don't know if you can tell, but the three of us all have our own favorite Catherines. Alex, you like the
very hot one.
The very hot
with the C, Catherine with the C.
And that cool, cold as ice Catherine is real nice.
And Catherine with a Q, everything included, is my favorite.
Yeah.
Which is, ironically enough, me doing the opening wasn't because of who we liked. It's because I think personality-wise, I think that matched the most.
Oh, you think I'm hot?
No, I just think you're the odd one out. I just didn't know what else to do.
You can't go back anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's always wearing like those muscle shirts all the time.
This isn't a muscle short.
They don't know that. And I'm cute, so
yeah,
I'm a little cute boy.
Alright, so we're all pretty big fans of Persona, right?
I think we're all blasted out of our minds. Yeah, that's it.
Sam just gave me a double shot of rum, so
rum and cola is real good, man.
It really is.
And I have my double shot of virgin rum and cola. Yeah. So I just have double cola. AKA I'm gonna die soon.
So people might be asking, why are we talking about Persona on a Catherine episode? And that's because they're made
epic.
Yeah, it's epic, but they're both made by Atlus.
Yeah.
And we each have some history with Atlus.
I think the one who has the closest Catherine connection with the history is Sam. So we'll let Sam go first.
Played the original.
Yeah, well, I've been interested in Catherine for a long time, but I mean, this game came out in 2011 when I was 11, so I couldn't buy it. I didn't end up picking this game up until I was like 19 or something. So that was like 2 or 3 years ago now.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like kind of recent. When
did Full Body come out?
Full Body is like a year or two old now.
Oh.
I think it was like 2020. It was definitely during pandemic time. But yeah, I picked it up on PS3 because I was like, that had been after I played Persona 5, and I was like, I want to support Atlus and play other Atlus games. And I was always interested in playing at Catherine, so I picked that one up. Even though my brother was like, that game's lame, or why are you buying anime games,
Little did he know.
Little did he know. This game is super good. Like, even the original version, you can play anyone and still get a very good experience from it.
Try to make him play it? recommended it.
He likes it, but he's like, oh, it's one of those games I want to like drink. Like after work, I'll like have a beer and play it or something. Like,
wants to immerse himself.
So
in the game.
what's,
Yeah,
so
he
what's
wants to be
stopping
in
him
the
from it?
I don't know. Sometimes
just forgets it,
sometimes
probably.
he just wants to watch a movie. Sometimes he just wants to play Elden Ring or something.
Enough about your brother.
Yeah.
I don't want your brother's daily life.
But yeah, I played this game on PS3 and enjoyed it. And then when I heard Full Body was coming out, I was like, I missed out on the collector's edition this last time. So I waited patiently. They finally announced the collector's edition of it. I picked it up day one. And it's
Never
good.
looked back.
I never looked back. Do you guys don't really have much history with Catherine itself, but you guys have history with Atlus, right?
Yeah,
I have the smallest amount of Catherine, like history.
I have a little bit.
For me, ironically enough, my brother, the one who actually doesn't like any of these games,
Yeah.
like Persona, like he makes fun of me and all the time.
Yeah.
He's the one who bought Full Body.
Oh.
I remember it was Black Friday. Me and my cousin went. You're right that it came out during COVID because we had the masks and shit. We were at a Best Buy, and he asked us to buy it, and it was just there. So I'm pretty sure I didn't get it day one, but they still had had a box there, so I just got it. I watched my brother play it, and I can spoil the beginning of the game. It's just straight the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So I just watched him do that, and I was like, well, this is weird because I've only played Persona.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is weird. I don't like this, and then I just never watched him again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything after that. I just knew there was like puzzles, and like there were sexy ladies in the front of the cover.
So before we got into this game, did you have any idea what it was going to be like?
Like I knew again just puzzles. I knew it's not an RPG.
Okay.
And then you later, I don't even know if before Sam. I'm pointing at Sam. Realize that you can't see that. I don't know if it was before the pod or not, but you kind of explained like what happens in the non-puzzle parts.
Yeah.
Which sold me more. Even though we'll talk about it later that was kind of a lie what you said.
Sure.
The way I thought it was, but yeah, I probably know the least. I imagine maybe. Because I looked at it for 2 seconds. I'm like, no. So I didn't have any. I had no interest. But by the time we put it on the list, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of in.
Yeah.
Hey, how many years have we been together?
I think even before we talk about anything, that opening, like the video opening, not like the game opening, like the
Like
where,
the
like,
outside the Golden Playhouse opening.
yeah, that was like awesome.
It's really cool. I really like the general concept of like all the whimsical shit you see is because it's a TV show, you know, it's fiction.
And like the opening, it's like they don't say their actors' names; they just name the characters. They're like starring Vincent and Catherine with the K. Catherine, like they just show them as they don't really show like anything like actually involved. Well, they probably say like the people who made it, but like other than that, it's like
It's
they
more
use their
like
characters' names.
Yeah.
something you're watching.
Yeah,
like in Persona, you try to like embody Joker. This is you're just watching it.
Yeah, 'cause,
Don't,
like-
don't be Vincent.
This is you're in this game. It's more like you're Vincent's angel on his shoulder telling him what to
Yeah.
do. You're not Vincent. You're telling him what
You don't name the character, like you're
Exactly.
playing
Yeah.
this real person.
which I think is really cool. Because in general, like a lot of Atlus games are just you are the self-insert person, but you know Vincent's his own man.
I think
He's Troy Baker, actually.
I was just gonna say. Well, I was about to mention the voice actors. Yeah, the voice acting probably all around just like top notch.
Dude, they got a whole bunch of
So
top tier voice actors.
My animals are fighting.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are from Persona 4 as well.
Yeah.
Like they kind of just got them from 4 to
And 3
The
too.
dub. We're talking about the dub.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and 3.
yeah,
because
Just Persona cast in general.
obviously 5 to come out, so they didn't really have.
I mean,
the
they
5 people
They
But, like-
have history with them.
like Troy Baker, obviously. I think the other person I think is like Travis Willingham. I don't think he's in any of them.
the dude who plays Orlando, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Akihiko.
Yeah.
Toby is fucking Yusuke or Yosuke, whatever.
And
fuck
the MC in
and the
P3.
MC and like every other character in that game.
Yeah.
Erica is Chie in the newer ones, not the original one.
Oh,
okay.
what the hell? Wait a minute.
What's up?
I can't hear that.
If they never changed Chie, would Erica have had Chie's original voice? Because that would have been fucking
Wait, what?
baller.
Wait, what did you just say?
I don't like T's original voice.
If they didn't, so if Chie's voice never got replaced,
Yes.
would Erica have just been Chie's original voice?
No, I mean they just picked her.
I mean, maybe, but I'm saying I really liked Chie's original voice.
I didn't.
She's okay.
Fuck you.
I like the newer one better. It does more
I like the
more
raspiness.
performance.
The tomboyish in her voice.
Original Chie
Very
sounds
tomboy.
more like a real person to
I
me,
guess.
like a girl I would know, and that's why I think Chie is best girl. for the 4 hours I played of Persona 4.
She's not best girl.
Anyways, we're not wrong with that.
Omar,
but a lot
tell
of
him how
the
Rize's best girl.
a lot of the voice actors are from the original Persona games.
Yeah.
They usually kind of bring back like people in some form or facet. But Troy Baker's Vincent is like she's so good, man. Like honestly, I we probably keep repeating yourself with this. Like all of it, just so like.
I mean, that's just
so
it
good.
feels so good.
That's his normal voice.
Honestly, I think this is the best game we've played for the show so far. Like,
Yeah.
it's my favorite game. Like, honestly, like, I don't know if I would say this is my favorite game of all time, but it's definitely up there. Like, I'm mentioning this whenever anyone asks me,
I don't
like,
think we need to ask what my favorite game is. It's obviously
We're not-
Persona 5.
We're not going to other games. I want Catherine.
but Catherine is so good in terms of voice acting and everything, the style, the music. It's a complete package, man.
I wanted to bring this up because I think how I think this is incredible how they got everyone back, because again they added more scenes. Everyone is back, and again Troy Baker.
yeah.
We talk about, we love him. He's not an anime. He's a union worker.
Yeah.
So is Travis William and Laura Bailey. That they're not anime anymore. Like they're doing union shit now.
Troy Baker.
So like to get him back is like incredible. That
He's
they got
known
everyone
for
back.
not returning for roles.
Not on purpose.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, but yeah.
They made it a point to get all the original voice actors back, and there's the only line that wasn't re-recorded. There's a scene where Vincent screams for like 20 seconds or something like that. I read this when I was doing my research, and Vincent screams, and they were like, well, we don't want to ruin Troy's voice or whatever, so they just reused that one. But that's the only line that's reused at all in this game. Everything else is completely re-recorded from scratch.
This is like it was re-recorded like what 2016, 15.
Re-recorded? No, this was re-recorded for this game.
Yeah, so like recently, right?
Yeah, but when this game came out, so like 2020,
Oh,
2019.
okay. Yeah, no, he's like a big more bigger.
This is
he's bigger than what he was.
Post Last
before.
of
Yeah,
Us.
post Last of Us.
Yeah.
He's probably doing Last of Us too.
This is post Avengers.
he didn't have much to do there, Omar.
Well, yeah, but like, hey, spoilers for a different game.
Spoiler.
There is one character. I
Spoilers
talked.
for that game.
We talked about it off pod, but there is one voice actor who's not back, but she's also not back in the other games that she's involved in. I don't remember her name. I apologize. The voice actress in Persona 5, the doctor character Tai.
Yeah, Tay.
Tay, whatever. I don't care.
Kenny.
My wife.
She's also in Persona
who?
5.
You who?
My
Stop
wife.
deterring the thing. Why am I the? That's why I said me being the fucking.
You're the sober one, so you're gonna
I
guide
know.
this whole thing, okay? I'm like done with this one.
I know. I'm scared.
He's
for
done
you.
with the
You're
wine.
already
He had a
gone.
double shot of rum.
We still have to talk
I'm
about
still
the game.
I'm gonna
halfway
talk
through
about
my
this
rum
game
and
very
coke.
well.
Are you?
Very good.
All right, Omar, continue.
Keep going.
So this is like a 2-day episode. So there's a voice actress. She's a minor character in this game.
What did you play?
She is, I don't know her name. I think her name's An. So she didn't come back, and I think because she's not in Royal either, because she was in Persona 5 as well, and I think it's not because she just, I don't think she does voice acting anymore. So I remember I looked her up, and she has a website, and I clicked on it, and it took me to like a Canadian mortgage website. So I just don't think she's voice acting anymore. So she's like the only person that they had to like change. But again, she's a minor
Did they get
character.
the same voice actor they replaced her with in Persona?
No, but she's also in Persona 5, that chick.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
But the person, everyone else though is like back again. I think that's just crazy to get like, especially Troy Baker,
they made it a point to get everyone back. Like,
and they obviously wanted to probably be in it too.
they wanted it to, like, because they kept saying, the definitive version of Catherine.
I mean-
It wouldn't be definitive if they got what's that guy that they usually get to replace Troy
Matt
Baker?
Mercer.
Not Mercer. Like, it wouldn't have been definitive if they replaced him again.
I mean, I'm sure they did. Nobody would notice.
but I think he knows. Troy Baker is like a fan of this game. Like, he likes having worked on this game,
Yeah.
so I think it wasn't that hard to convince him to come back for this role.
I mean, this is also when he's recording Last of Us 2, which is when he became more like he's on the internet more now. I think he has his own YouTube channel now where he does a podcast.
Yeah.
We should invite him.
He's not coming.
He's not.
So you should play Catherine with us.
We'll watch you do it. You're like, you suck at this.
But I don't know. I mean, in the non-spoiler section, what else do you want to talk about? I mean, in general, I guess the general plot of the story is just like, Vincent is this. I think he's a programmer.
32.
He's like 32, right?
Yeah, he's 32.
He's like a 32-year-old like programmer in some unnamed American city who's been dating this one girl named Catherine
5
with a
years.
K. And actually, let's do this. I want to instead of saying Catherine with a K, I just want to call them by their letters, K, Q, and C. Is that okay?
Q and C.
I'll probably still call them Catherine K with the C, but whatever. You can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
So he's dating this woman named Catherine with a K, for a couple years
What's
now.
her last name? Like
McBride.
McBride.
Yeah.
She's like the only one with a last
I
name.
make sure to know that name because I love her. And he's been dating for a while, and she's starting to get like kind of weird. But she's like, "Hey, like, how long have we been dating?" And then it's like, "My mom
doesn't know.
he can't remember." And then she's like, "My mom's been asking about us," and she's like, "All my friends are getting married," and he's kind of like in this relationship where he doesn't want things to change, but she does, and he's kind of feels like in this weird situation. And then one random night he runs into a woman named Catherine with a C, and she ends up seducing him, and he ends up sleeping with her, and then he gets cursed with these nightmares. He actually gets cursed with a nightmare before.
Immediately.
Yeah, how does
the game, which is surprising because it's an Atlus game, it opens like automatically with the puzzles.
With the gameplay, yeah.
Like you there's no like you just don't know any. You don't know the characters, and then they throw you in really.
Yeah, and
I guess that is explained at the end why, right?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, he has to go through these puzzles. Like that's like half of the game. But I'm just gonna talk about the first like one half, the other half of the game, not the puzzles. But also like in the full bodied version, while he's walking to the bar, he's walking around at night, and there's this girl with pink hair that runs up, and she ends up like bumping into him, named Catherine with a Q, and they end up calling her Rin
because he didn't hear the first part of her name. He blacked out.
he was like still kind of confused.
So when he found out there was a third one, he was like, "How many of you are there?"
Yeah, and he's kind of like in this weird like love square almost, where he's like trying to stay faithful to Catherine with a K, but still wants to fool around with Catherine with a C. And this is where the player comes in, where they can make choices in conversation and in certain scenes where it'll affect like, almost like a karma meter.
Yeah.
Where you can then decide if you want to stick with your current girlfriend, go with the new girl, or make certain decisions that will make you go for the brand new girl, Catherine with a Q.
This is also where our gameplay differentiates.
Yeah.
Because I know with Catherine with a K, you have to be like the little good boy, right, Sam?
Oh yeah, I had to be in my gameplay. Like when I first played this game, I was good little Boy Scout, being supportive boyfriend as much as possible and all that. In this playthrough for this podcast, I actually wanted to be ultimate centrist because there's actually like a fifth technically route you can take where you end up dating nobody and you're just like, I'm gonna live life as a single man. If you want to do that, that's a possibility, but you have to make choices to get to that point. And I really like that this game like doesn't like shove like the choices down your throat. Like it really lets you kind of explore the spectrum of what you want to do. And it's different. Like last month we played 999, and I ragged on that game a lot. And I think part of the reason why I ragged on that game so much is because I had played Catherine already, and I knew what an experience where choices matter a lot throughout the gameplay. Sure, like every line that you decide on doesn't change the next scene, but overall, like it all culminates to a big difference in the ending, and every ending is satisfying on its own. It doesn't have to just be, oh, you die and that's it, fuck you.
Yeah, and like something else that didn't happen in 999, the choices you make in this game will affect like the rest of the game going forward.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut in. There's a couple things I want to correct you on.
Sure.
I didn't want to stop you.
Go for it, baby.
There were, I think you mentioned earlier, where like, I think you're wrong. I didn't mean to say you're wrong. When you're saying the karma thing, I read about it that it really isn't about good or bad. The game is gray, I think. I don't really think it's about you doing good or bad. Or you choosing a good thing or a bad thing. You're just picking of the like, well, the two options. Because you can view it. How you view it depends on how. Because I didn't see Catherine with a K as a good person. I saw her as a bad person.
Oh yeah, she was.
But I also saw Catherine as a C with a bad person. That's why I like Rin. Catherine with a Q.
Yeah.
But like exactly the way how Sam looked at it, him doing that was a good thing.
Yeah.
And the way Alex probably saw it with Catherine is his like, this I'm doing the right thing. So none of them are wrong, which is why I think the game is great.
I mean, the game really
doesn't make you feel bad.
No,
about your
it
choices.
really makes the Catherine with the C answers kind of like makes Vincent look like an asshole.
It does for sure.
So like
because he is.
So
That's the thing.
We'll talk about this with when we get to the endings. But that like, I like just play this game like I'm like, I want a Catherine with the C ending, but if I don't get it, I'll be fine. So I just played it how I wanted to. I answered honestly, and I was around the middle the whole time. Saying, you guys tell me that apparently the ending I got wasn't in the original. It's a full body new ending.
Full body ends maybe like 3. Well, not including the Rin. I think it's 3 endings.
Yeah, 3 new endings because there's a
And
new
then Rin
ending.
is 3 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So like, if you, I feel like if any of us play this game like truthfully, we except Sam, I feel like Sam would really be the good Boy Scout.
Yeah,
but I
well-
feel like if me and Omar played this like truthfully, we'd end up around.
Well, I got what I did what I got.
Yeah.
I also chose truthful and I got
Okay,
what
so-
I wanted.
okay.
Yeah, on my first playthrough, I was very truthful to how I feel, and I feel like if I was in Vincent's shoes, like, you know, obviously, I wouldn't be accepting of being in a relationship with Catherine with a K because she is kind of rude. But, you know, if I was in a situation, I would be faithful to my partner. Otherwise, I would just break up with that partner at that point. I wouldn't be like how Vincent is, where he's kind of like in this limbo
Yeah.
That's why I think you mentioned earlier, Sam, where like you're not playing
as you.
as Vincent. Like you're not also you're kind of just his angel.
Yeah.
Because you tell him to do certain things, but then he like throughout the game he still does like dumb things because he's kind of in that limbo forever. You can only like kind of like push him in one direction, but he'll still kind of do certain things. So the game makes you feel like you're not Vincent.
yeah.
You like Vincent is Vincent, and you
Yes.
can just kind of guide him.
Yeah.
So like again, that's why I think like the whole gray thing where like there's no right or wrong. How you see it is the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how you saw Catherine with the K, I'm just pointing at Sam again, is not wrong just because I didn't do Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
And what I did with Catherine with a Q, it's not wrong, and et cetera, and so forth, or whatever. And I think that game, they balanced it perfectly, where the game isn't that long.
No.
If you play it just from 1 to 10,
Yeah.
that's I don't think it's a phrase, like from like 0 to like the end or whatever,
Yeah.
like front to cut back, whatever. Just like not doing it, just play the game normally. Maybe it's like 9, 8, 10, 11
Yeah.
hours.
And even if you like, you don't play it like that, because I I was studying for finals. I had my sister's birthday to get ready for. I still beat the game at like 11 hours.
Yeah.
So like it's not long, but there's so much different things.
Yeah.
Like, and every gameplay, unless you obviously do the exact same things, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah,
Like if you change certain things, like small things will kind of happen.
It's kind of hard to, because like you said, like each girl has like 3 different endings.
yeah.
4 with full body, right?
And yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I feel like there's just so many layers with this game. We've just been talking about the general like hangout, almost like visual novel section of the game. There's an entire puzzle half of this game that's like, I've heard it described as Cuber, but it's really hard to describe it. Maybe 3D Tetris. I don't know.
That's
Like,
something Atlus is really good with, like just making 2 sides of a game.
yeah. Well, yeah. Persona 5 is the social life and then the dungeon crawling.
and
but
this is kind of also social life with puzzles.
with puzzles, and
yeah.
these are puzzles that I've honestly like. I don't think I've ever played a game like this before.
When I was playing it, I'm like, this is reverse Tetris.
A little bit, but it's
Yeah.
all about climbing this
Yeah.
like tower in front of you, and it's really innovative and really cool because it's like it makes you. It's not like Portal where it's like there's only one answer and you have to figure it out. This is like honestly like if you recorded me and Alex playing the same level, we'd probably have completely different techniques
Yeah.
throughout the entire thing.
We were talking about this earlier, but like I really found out that like there's that one technique that Inazuma that they show. Sam, if you could like show like the clip where they show what it does,
I'll look for it.
that'd be
I'll look at
great.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like once I figured that out, I started using that, and it made the rest of the game so much easier. I found this out like around floor 4 or 5,
Yeah.
and Omar told us that the game is really hard, but like I've been using that strategy the whole time, and it's actually a really like foolproof strategy, and I didn't have as much of a hard time playing the game.
To be fair, I'm also stupid.
no,
Again, I only play visual novels,
No,
so my
you're not.
gameplay is just like clicking,
Yeah.
and every once in a while I'll be like, yes.
Yeah.
So like I'm also that I'm just stupid as fuck.
It's a game that really rewards you for learning like different techniques, but also like experimenting a lot. And like this game does come with an undo feature, and I know in the harder difficulties
They give you one,
they give you one, but in the original version of Catherine, there was no undos.
and if you
Oh.
die, you start all over.
Yeah.
You don't get to start from like the redo.
So
part as well.
like it very further into the game, it can get really tricky. There's puzzles that require you to do multiple different techniques, and there's different kinds of blocks. It's not just standard blocks that crumble sometimes or have spikes. There's enemies and stuff.
Like they push you off and stuff.
So there's just a lot of different things going on, and I really just enjoyed this. Honestly, you know how Tetris, like you can just buy Tetris and there's just like you can play an infinite amount of times, and there's just a bunch of different versions you can do. Like,
Yeah.
if I could just pay for this version, this half of the game, I would. Like, if I could infinitely play like a tower to
Like a
climb, you know,
generator.
It is really.
I would. I would love it.
Like I remember when I was playing it, there was a part like I don't even remember which stage, but like I was like really deep in it, but like I died, so I had to go back to the checkpoint, and I couldn't for the life of me even go back to that point because I forgot what I did. Because like for me, I'm really bad at like pressure.
Yeah.
And like the game, obviously, like like you're not doing the puzzle infinitely. You have like finite time.
Yeah.
So you're either you're getting chased by something, or the towers, the blocks below you are like falling.
Yeah.
So you can't even go back that far either. So like I get nervous. So I just like move. I'm just like pushing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like I don't know how I make it. Then I make it.
Yeah.
And if I had a checkpoint, I'm like, what did I even do here? And I try to remember it, and I still mess it up. So like that's why, in my opinion, it's like I'm just bad at those.
I think it really comes to like what kind of player you are. Because I had no fear of like going back to the checkpoint. If I found myself in a spot to where I couldn't do anything else, I'm like, all right, I'll go back. I'll try something different. And that's I did a lot of restart at checkpoints, and it wasn't that bad. I really did like finding new ways to make it up there.
Yeah.
I felt a slap to my pride if I had to go back to the checkpoint.
No,
I'm like, no, I ain't no pussy. I ain't going
'cause
back.
there are points where you put yourself in a corner and you really can't do anything else.
That's what I mean. Like I just bullhead.
Yeah.
I just go, or I just restart the whole thing and pretend like that didn't just happen. 10 minutes ago. I'm like, I just started cool, and then I just keep playing.
No, there was one time I specifically fucked up, and instead of putting restart at checkpoint, I put restart at the beginning of the level.
Oh, yeah, I can
and I
see
was like
that.
right at the top, and I'm like, damn. I think I'm just really shitty at just like small details like that. Like I don't know. I did follow, because I played this game, I wanted to follow a specific guide, and I fucked up with that too. But I'll get into that
Did
later.
you do that with 999 too?
Yes, I think I'm just bad at reading
I think
directions.
you should just stop using.
You just can't read. So it's impossible to read.
Yeah.
You're lucky this game is like almost all audio.
Dude, this
Yeah.
is so weird because like going to high school with Sam, he was like the smartest kid there. So
That's the thing. Like, I've had people tell me that they think I'm really smart, and then I had one person tell me like, "You're not as smart as I thought you were." Like,
Sam, we
I present myself a lot better
just
than I think.
figured
I am.
out that we've known each other for more than 10 years. You are like, I've always thought of you as like the smart kid.
He also said, "Wait, really?"
Yeah, no, because I see
your
where
point.
Sam's coming from, because it does like it doesn't feel like we've known each other for 10 years.
No, it doesn't. I feel like I've known him. I mean, like, I feel like I've known him for a long time, but like
Yeah.
10 years feels like way too long. Like, it doesn't seem right.
It's making you feel old.
Oh yeah, dude, I feel old all the time. But anyways.
Speaking of friendship, I also think like Vincent's like friends and homies
Oh, yeah.
are like the best. Maybe -1, but like like because ironically enough, he also has like high school. They're all high school
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
It's
speaking of us,
Vincent,
this is
Johnny,
us.
Vincent, Johnny, Orlando,
And Toby.
Erica, and Catherine with a K. All were high schools
Yeah.
friends. And then Toby's like the younger guy who's like it was probably introduced way later in their lives.
Yeah.
But like the social aspect of the game, you automatically start in a booth in a bar with 3 of your other Orlando, Johnny, and Toby.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like every night you always start with them, and I'm always like I have to know what they're gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
because they're just so interesting and fun. Like they feel like real people.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just fun to talk to them. Johnny was my favorite.
Hey, Sam, did you play this in high school?
No, he said he was
I played it
19.
in college.
Yeah, so he was
I
already
played it in
young.
college.
Yeah, because I feel like playing this when I was like back in high school would feel completely different, because back then I wouldn't have that aspect, because we're them now. Like we're in our.
I wouldn't say that.
No,
They're
we're-
32.
They're 32. We're
the inverse of
nearing
that.
25.
Yeah.
We're nearing 25. Like
Don't make it sound like I'm not even saying to defend myself. That's so stupid. No, that's a whole decade later. That's a long
still,
time.
no, I can
We
understand where
we
he's
can
coming from.
already-
That's like comparing a 13-year-old
No.
to a 23-year-old.
Okay, we
That's
don't
just
gotta
10
be
years.
32. We can already go out with friends and get drinks
We
like
can
that.
already hang out. at the
We already
bar.
have dead end jobs like that.
I see where he's at.
I understand.
I couldn't
But you made
see
it sound like we're
No.
there. We're 32.
No, we're
I'm
not.
Orlando.
No, like
womanizer.
like being in high school, I couldn't be like, oh, I'm just not gonna be me going to the bar with my friends,
Yeah.
getting drinks like that. Like, no, I'm gonna be out partying. No, that's what I'm doing now.
Exactly. Like as a high schooler, if I played this game, I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could do that.
We're doing that right now.
Yeah. Now I'm like, that's me.
We're
Like
drinking right here. We had food earlier. What else is different?
my brother has always talked about this. He's like, if I could open a bar, I'd be just like the Stray Sheep. Like it's such a nice
Yeah.
aesthetic. But the Stray Sheep, like it's not just your friends. Your friends are cool, and I really like Johnny and Orlando. And Toby's cool, I guess.
He's the weak.
Like
one.
He's the kid.
I can tell which one of my friends is which one. Obviously, Chewy, you are Toby. Just so you know.
Cut that part. You have to randomly call out your friend for no reason.
Keep that in. He knows
This
he
is a
is.
call out post.
He knows he is.
But then there's other people in the bar. Like it's like a regular like
People
how
rotate in.
Like how Omar, you said like
Yeah.
these feel like real people. That applies to everyone else. Like people come in and out of the bar, you know, at certain times. If you talk to one character, you might miss out on an opportunity to talk to another. You know, there's these twins in the bar that I
old twins. Yeah, they're
I
freaky.
never talked to them.
I talked to them a couple
every time.
times.
Nah, I was like, nah, you're old.
They're
Get out of
creepy.
here.
Yeah, I didn't know you could talk to other people, so I just wanted to talk to them.
Yeah, Alex messed it up. Like, he didn't realize there was a social aspect of the game.
I mean, who are they? Like,
The twins?
Yeah, I know.
I have
Every
no
time I talk to them, they would tell you who died.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I have
like,
no idea.
That's weird.
They're evil.
Honestly.
But then there's like the bartender. There's obviously Erica, your other high school
waitress.
friend, the waitress.
Who works there.
And then there's Rin you can talk to every once in a while. And then there's just random people. You know, journalists.
There's a
random
jukebox.
salesmen.
There's change the music. Like, like actually change the music of the game. Like,
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
as a joke. Like, you actually can change the music.
There-
There's an arcade. I'll talk about that later. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have things to say about
There's
that.
a bathroom you can go into. And
There
look
is a
at your
bathroom
phone.
you can look at.
And you can look in the mirror and
you
get
can look
scared.
at nudes
Oh,
on the
yeah.
phone.
And that's cool because you looking in the mirror is like hints as to what
It
the
reveals
final,
the final boss of the next.
You can
of
look
the
at, what?
Yeah.
So there's a trophy for it, and I realized that Alex never got it, and I'm like, did you just never look at the mirror?
Well, I didn't know you. I thought the bathroom was only to look at naughty pictures.
No, you go in the bathroom, and there's a mirror, and you
What?
look in the mirror, you wash your face, and then the kind of the boss of the
Oh.
next night shows up.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go back and get that trophy because, like, me with fucking RPG brain, I save on every save file just to make sure I don't miss out on anything.
Oh my god.
and you proceed
Yes.
to miss out everything on this game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and try to get some of those trophies.
Another fun aspect, because you have a flip phone.
Oh yeah.
So like there's a button, you just whip out your phone and you literally just flip your phone open, and then you just do you actually text people.
Yeah.
Like, which incredibly difficult. I don't know if you guys ever text on a flip phone.
Oh, dude.
No.
It is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to do.
Mm.
But like, and that's like kind of we mentioned earlier. Like, so the choices is like
Mhm.
you get text messages. One, you can just completely ignore them.
Yeah.
Not send anything.
This dude writes a whole fucking paragraph on
and you
that
can
shit.
write, which again, that's what I say. That's
That is-
crazy.
Oh my
difficult.
god.
Yeah.
Good on him, I guess, for having the thumbs of fury.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you can text like you get text messages from usually the three Catherines.
Yeah.
And like how you reply to them kind of like changes your your chaos for
Also,
order meter and stuff.
I know the requirements for my ending. Like, I had to ignore Catherine with the sees that text one day,
Oh.
and I'm surprised I was able to get that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm astonished by how I got that ending because I
Yeah.
looked up the requirements. There's so much I had to do for it.
And I really like when it comes to texting that like when you start it out, it doesn't show you all your options. You have to like you click it and then it's like, oh, do you want this or no? And then you have to back out and then like
Yeah.
go it again. It's like always surprising you with what Vincent's gonna say next. And it's like it's almost like a puzzle because you're like you pick each line. It's not like you pick the whole text. So you can start off really good and then start off kind of crummy.
and it bad.
And and it'll change how much it affects your meter. If you say everything good, then obviously it's gonna go one way, and if you say everything bad, then it's gonna go the other.
I mean, again, like almost sure it's not good or bad because I know for my route I had to go with a lot of the shitty answers.
Yeah.
but they
And that works for Catherine to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other I like a super small detail where it's like if you go back, Vincent's like, oh no, not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He whispers like, oh,
There's-
like no, like let me think about that.
There's so many audio cues in this game that I'm like, it's so good,
And I
man.
think like another thing I wish I brought up in the voice acting bit where like all of it's voiced.
Who does the Edge voice?
Oh, I have no. That's like the voice of
I have
Siri.
some
Like,
words
like, just
for
like
that.
just a
There's
voice.
voices during the puzzles that says like when blocks connect edge to edge, when you press undo, when you hit a checkpoint. There's like a narrator almost, but it's I
only
don't
just
think
for
Every
puzzles.
time you move a block, it connects to something else, so you'll just hear edge,
Edge all the
edge,
time.
edge, and I'm just like, stop.
please stop.
I do not need to hear the word edge again
No.
in my entire life.
We're for certain that Alex is never gonna edge again ever.
What a terrible nightmare.
I want to say
have.
that.
But like the whole game is voiced, and like other Atlus games don't do that. But not even like a lot of RPGs don't do that.
Yeah.
And now that I'm like older, I get why. because there's so much dialogue in like RPG games. Like they're just so long. Persona games are like it's like 50 hours or something. Like
What was
all
your
that
what was your
voice is
playtime, Omar?
mine, I don't know, like 500.
Dude, I was
But,
like 100 when I first played it.
Mine was 130.
Jeez.
mine's like a lot. I was like 300, I think, or
I
something.
mean, I did play Royal first, so.
Yeah.
But like this whole game again, because it's also shorter. It's not as hard.
Yeah, no, this is like the shortest Atlus game. It has to be.
I think so. Yeah.
9 to 11 hours.
Yeah.
Because like that's like a thing I appreciate, but I will never destroy a game for not having full voice acting. It'll just always be like a plus.
Yeah.
Because like I remember I'm used to like again visual novels where like I have to click the button to hit the next speech line, but in this game it's all auto. So you can literally just drop the controller and the game will just keep going, and you don't even have to read it because they just talk the whole time.
I wish the other Atlus games would use this auto.
But there's an auto button.
No, there is an auto button, but they also take forever to go to the next line.
Yeah.
But this game did it perfectly.
Like if they could blend this game and Persona, I think that'd be set. Personally,
the issue with mine though is like again because I'm used to always hitting X. I'd always hit X too much. Cause I'm like, all right, I read it faster. Yeah. And then like, I keep forgetting the game's voiced all the way. So like, it would like skip a line or two, and I didn't even finish the voice dialogue. I'm like, damn it, I want to hear it.
I always do a double X just because like if you double X, it'll finish that line, so you can read it yourself if you want.
Yeah. There is one mess up with that though. In Full Body, there's a certain scene like the confessionals between levels. If you press X while the guy's talking to you, his lines will start layering. Like
really?
I did see that once.
Line.
Yeah, sometimes they do layer a bit.
Yeah, but that's the only time I ever noticed that. In general, it's really.
There's another time where like they voiced over each other, like one voice voiced over another character's voice at the exact same time. So like I didn't know what anyone was saying.
So the confessional guy, like, did you guys also think he was that little like goblin thing on top?
We'll talk about more maybe with spoilers.
Did you think it was or not? Because I thought it was that the whole time, but then
no,
I
didn't even notice that until like the end.
I noticed it that he was up there, and there's a line later where he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll never see his face. You don't deserve to see his face."
Well, again, you didn't. There's certain trophies I noticed Alex never got. Where like. You can literally look at the confessional, and he talks about like Vincent says stuff every time he looks at the confessional. He's always saying stuff. Really? I do that every time.
I mean, like I guess I was studying for finals while doing this.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying there are things that happen.
Like there's so many small things you can get from this game in between levels in the puzzle section.
Yeah, no, I really hate this is the game we got during May because May is finals month.
Yeah, and. There's so many small things in between levels. Yeah. Before the confessionals, even you can talk to other people that are going through this situation.
I'm definitely gonna go back and try to get the rest of the Catherine with a C ending.
Yeah.
Maybe a Rin ending. I would like a Rin ending.
I did have a pet peeve because the game mentioned like, if there's a pink like icon over their head, that means they have more to say. And there are times where they just repeat the exact same thing they just said, and I'm like, why did I click this?
Yeah, I don't know.
If I noticed they're repeating themselves, I just hit circle. That way, if a dialogue option came up, I wouldn't click it.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, maybe it's gonna maybe the last sentence will be different now. It says like,
or it's something like they go like, huh?
Yeah.
Or they go,
okay.
Or like one guy will be like, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, but in general, I think this game is so chock full of content. I mean, there's a whole other thing Omar wants to talk about with the Rapunzel puzzles in the bar outside of the dream.
Yeah. So, I might have mentioned earlier, like, I was trying to platinum this game. This took up a lot of time because I had to play 128 levels.
Holy shit.
Of this game. There's an arcade there called Rapunzel that's based off the Rapunzel fairy tale. Yeah. And the gameplay is just the game. With blocks, except instead of time, it's moves. So you only can push and pull so many times.
Also, the puzzles just like the Nightmare puzzles.
Yeah.
Except you're not playing Vince, you're playing the Prince character or whatever. Yes. And like the that way everything looks, the music is all different or whatever. But Jesus Christ, 128 levels. It was a lot. It took me 3 days to like go through them because I had to watch a guide for each one because I was not in the mood to strategize.
Listen, I don't got the brains for this one.
I only did a couple of them.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not even gonna try to platinum.
Yeah. Well, once you beat the game, you have because when you play it in your first playthrough, you have 3 tokens.
Okay.
But if you if you beat the game once, the next time you start a playthrough, you have infinite tokens, so you can just keep playing forever.
Oh.
So that's why I waited to my second playthrough.
Does that add anything to the game? Actually?
So there is a bit of it, and I'll probably talk a little more spoilers. But that game mode I just hated it by the end of it. Not because it's bad. It's just that I was just so burned.
You're just burned out.
When I was playing, I think I might have messaged you guys. I'm like, I not that I hate this game, but I'm hating getting the platinum. Because you have to do so much.
Yeah.
You have to do that whole 128 levels of just that the cabinet to get 3 trophies.
Okay.
God.
One trophy of Catherine is basically you have to get gold, which is like the best rate you can get in every level and every mode, classic and remix.
Did you do that?
So you have to. I'm not done. As I mentioned, I couldn't have a chance to platinum it. So
Yeah.
basically, you have to do every mission 6 times perfectly.
Yeah, I didn't get a single gold.
And that's I had like 1, and I started looking at guides because I stopped caring.
Yeah, I thought I got one. It was actually a bronze because it looks like gold.
Yeah.
But I did get a couple silver. Like I'm not that dumb.
Silver
But I
was
just-
my consistent. I'd be
Yeah.
depressed if I got bronze.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of bronze, but I did get some silver in there, so I'm not completely stupid.
But like, if you look up the how long it takes to beat the game, like it's like normally 11 hours. If you want to 100% it, 72 hours.
Jesus.
Because you basically have to play it like almost 6 times to get like a lot of the different endings. Again, to beat all the levels, to get the fucking the Rapunzel stuff, gotta save everyone, drink all the drinks. Like, you gotta do a lot of shit to platinum it. And that didn't change my opinion of the game. That just pissed me off by the end of it. Because I already beat it, then I decided to do this.
Yeah.
So I already had my experience. But there's all a bit. I might have mentioned. Oh, you can go ahead.
I do like how you don't have to redo the stages if you want to get the other endings. Because isn't there a mode where you could just like do the dialogue choices?
If you go to safety mode, I think it'll.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think on multiple playthroughs, if you can just skip the puzzles.
Yeah.
And just go straight to the social aspect.
social
of it.
aspect.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you could. It isn't that hard to platinum,
no.
I guess.
So
It is.
I'm definitely gonna go back and try to save some of the people that I couldn't on my first playthrough and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But another thing I mentioned slightly, the drinks. You can drink in this game.
What
as
does
well.
that do? I didn't never figure out what
Nothing.
that does.
It technically does nothing.
It tells you that it makes you
Yeah.
faster, but I don't think it does.
does.
It tells you it helps you out in your game.
I've done. It does make you faster.
But
Okay.
do you really want to be faster?
Yes, because you're in a time limit.
Yeah, you want
not
to move faster in the puzzles.
So you're trying to move faster.
I mean, I never felt like I was like my.
Well, did you ever not drink and then play?
I never not drank, but I did. Feel,
I did it once by accident. And it's really
Oh.
slow.
I
Not
did-
super slow, but it's annoying.
I did feel like my drinks wouldn't my speed wouldn't affect how I was playing.
Well, it's just in general how
It
quickly
just goes faster.
Yeah.
It's not like your strategy changes. You just move faster as a person.
Yeah.
It's like imagine you put like times 2 on or something. That's basically what the
it
character.
felt pretty consistent throughout the
Well,
whole
again, you
game.
did not drink though, so you can't really
Yeah,
say that.
I
I
guess.
did. I
I
tried that,
guess.
and you are like sluggish compared to your natural speed.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to try that at some point.
But in general, you can drink in this game. Like, you can drink like we're doing now.
We actually have some drinks inspired by this.
By
show.
this game.
Yeah, did we talk about that yet?
I mean, we kind of did in the intro, but I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
I made a like a Catherine McBride expired drink. That's like a
And
vodka.
I had the hot Catherine's drink.
And then we
The
finished it
best
off.
Catherine.
Yeah, and then we finished it off with a rum and cola, just like Vincent likes it. And I do want to say, the game, when you finish your rum and cola, which is the drink you always start out with, the game lets you pick like if you want to keep going with other drinks, and then whatever you pick. Once you finish that drink, it'll give you trivia for that drink.
Yeah, I usually just had my usual beer.
And I like how each character, Johnny, Orlando, everyone at the bar with you has their own drink. Like Johnny drinks purely sake,
Toby and Orlando drink beer.
beers, and then you drink rum and cola. But if you wanted to, you could also drink wine, which wasn't in the original game because the wine is based on like Catherine with a Q on that. So you get like information on this. I always drink the rum and cola because I like cocktails in general, and I love hearing about new drinks that I can make.
I love beer.
As the non-alcoholic drinker, I only did it for trophies. After like a certain night, I just didn't care about the fest. I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay, whatever, cool.
Yeah, like,
I just kind of skip them, yeah, whatever. If I had a choice, I would say I wouldn't drink.
We know
even
who the
in
fun
game.
one in this party is.
yeah.
I'm the driver of that party.
Honestly, I think this game is really they made it for adult audiences, and it encapsulates so much of like the adult lifestyle, not just like romance. You know, it's relationships with your friends, it's drinking, it's struggles with your work life. Vincent always complains about
Like
work.
I said, like I feel like I couldn't relate to this back in high school.
No,
but
no.
now
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a really good game, man. I can't say it enough. I love this
I
game.
feel like I wouldn't have liked it in high school. But now, like this is probably up there in my top game list. Definitely the best game we played on this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably segue into like recommend it because we're probably at the top of spoilers now because
Oh yeah.
we're running out of things we can not non-spoiler wise. We have to kind of talk about spoilers.
Characters first for spoilers?
We can do whatever we want after spoilers. Let's just tell me before the spoilers. Okay, do we recommend this game? And these kind of obvious. All of us are
Yes.
kind of saying yes.
Buy the game.
I
This
do
is a good
think
game.
because I'm only 1 year older, so like I'd be 12 if the game came out. I would not have even fucking understood. I probably would have quit 'cause I hate puzzles.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't. Was it 2020 or whatever when it came out? So I mean, I would have been like 21.
Yeah.
But I think if I played it like
In high school.
like in high school, I think I'd be like, I would never do any of these things.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a bad person. I will only do good things.
I would never cheat
Now
on
that
my
I'm older,
girlfriend.
I'm like, I would never do these things.
Yeah.
I just think you're the same person.
Because it's always funny because you guys are like, oh, I want to do parties, but I mean, I never want. In my whole life, I was like, I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
So that aspect never got to me. But a lot of like the conversations, kind of like the other like they're. Because again, like they're homies, the Johnny and all those guys.
Yeah.
So like they have random conversations, like they're just talking about deep shit.
Mhm.
But like it'd be like you understand it more as you're older.
They talk about deep shit and work.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, you feel like you're like, oh yeah, and also like you're done with work, you just want to wind down
Yeah.
with the boys or whatever. And like when you're in high school, you're kind of just like you see your friends like
You see them
all
every
the
day.
time or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a local bar I could go to, I'd hang out with you guys all the time.
You know, I guess technically
What do you mean? We got a beat-ups right down the street.
B-dubs is what we're drinking. Yeah.
that's where it's popping.
Hey,
B-dubs is our straight sheep.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie about this. I was a regular at beat-ups for a while. The waitress, she was like, "Oh, you guys are back." It wasn't like a daily thing; it was like a weekly thing. She was like, "Oh, you guys are back again."
Yeah, yeah.
She was like, "Another blue moon." I'm like, "You already know it."
You know it.
Blue moon.
But yeah, I think we all recommend it.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
This game's
I'm
great.
gonna stick with my. Oh wait, this is for movies. Still, I'm gonna do it right here. Would I recommend this to my dad?
That's a weird
Fuck
thing to
yes.
say.
I will play this with my dad. I played video games with my dad before, and I won't be like, "Hey, Dad, do you want to watch some titties with me?"
I don't know about any of that.
Hey, Dad, what do you think I should do in this? How should I text this babe?
Well, I mean-
You know how awkward it'd be? Your dad's like, cheat,
My dad-
cheat,
my dad-
cheat. He's like, Dad?
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Is that why my brother's
No.
different colors?
My dad's only like 20 years older than me, so like he's.
I think he's 20.
No, he's only
like, what?
20 years older than me, so like we're pretty. He just turned 40.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, my dad is a similar age, but I don't think I would recommend this to my dad, man. Like,
Yeah, my dad doesn't speak English, so that wouldn't make it go over his head.
I feel like this is something I could play with my dad.
It's definitely something I could play with my older brother.
It
you
would
know.
definitely like reassure him that I'm straight,
Dad, look.
as if he didn't already know. But yeah,
No.
Look at these hot. Look, I'm not going.
yeah,
I'm going for the one that looks the most feminine. Okay.
Yeah,
the
my,
most attractive for sure.
Yeah.
my route wouldn't deter my father for thinking that.
Yeah.
And on to that point,
Let's get into
let's talk about spoilers. So if you don't play it, then get the fuck out of here.
Get out.
Leave.
Go piss.
No. This game sucks.
Oh.
I think because we all three of us did different routes, there are points where the story does change, and for one of us, me, it changes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
and it adds more. I had more nights to play
Yeah, no,
than you
I feel
guys
like it
did.
changed a lot more because, like, I told you guys, like, I was like near the end of the game. I'm like, guys, I think I messed up. I think I got a Catherine with a K ending because up like it for Catherine to see it doesn't really change up to like the last night.
Yeah.
I really thought I was gonna get a Catherine with the C ending because Vincent kept going, "Oh, I need to make up with Catherine."
There's literally a point in mine where like I think it's night 6, and after that it's all Rin's route. Like
Oh,
there
really?
really is like
Okay.
almost nothing like
It's like a totally new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I was worried up until you told me like, yeah, it's not gonna change up to like the ninth night.
Yeah.
for you guys, more than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But so my character, Rin, I say my character, that's just the one I chose. Rin's
your
route or
babe.
whatever. I think it's funny because in the beginning of the game, she falls on you, but she falls like crotch first, which is so weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
It's
how does that happen?
It's like anime.
Yeah, I was like, that's so weird or whatever. But I also think, how did you not know? Because again, the crotch in the face, how did you not see?
I thought that was supposed to be the first indicator of that.
Yeah, but I guess there's no.
Should we say what happened?
Oh, it's a spoiler. So we're already in spoilers.
We're into spoilers.
So
Yeah.
each girl, is a fucking weirdo, except for Catherine with a K.
Yeah, Catherine
love
with K is definitely the most normal.
She's the only normal one.
I mean, she
Trust me,
lied-
when I
she
talk about
lied
Rinmore-
she lied about a baby.
No, normal as in she's the only human.
Okay, she is the only. Oh yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
know Okay, hang on. Let's get into this then, because I know there's a huge point of contention. People thought when they first revealed Catherine with a Q, people were like, "Oh, well, she's trans or something," right?
Mm.
And then, like, when the reveal happens, it's like, "Oh no, it's a boy. It's not trans. It's
It's
just a boy.
cross-dresser.
yeah."
A boy who dresses cutely.
Yes.
And then it's like, "Nah, dude, it's an alien."
So yeah, that. So I'll go with my parts.
Sure.
So as I think in every route it's revealed that Rin's it's a boy. You see him naked, and you're
Yes,
like, oh snap,
I saw
or
that in
whatever.
my part.
And then there's like then you learn like Erica knew because she would took him to the hospital so she would know or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then like after that, that's when like you guys kind of probably be like, oh well, Rin's cool or whatever. And that's kind of
Yeah.
it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, mine was like, no, I love Rin. And it's interesting because that immediately after that's completely different because Johnny beats the fucking shit. He punches you like really fucking hard in the face after you say that.
In your part?
Yes,
I
because
just found
after
that
you
out.
say
Oh.
like, "Oh, Rin is I love Rin," he punches you in the fucking face, and in your guys' he's like, "Oh, okay, cool," and he like I think I don't know if you can see like I think he like calms down a
No,
little bit or
isn't
whatever.
when you see him in a nightmare? Doesn't he say, "I can't betray my best friend"?
So
Yeah.
I was gonna wait till like Catherine with a K, Sam's part.
Well, I mean, that happens in my part too.
No, what I'm saying like there are certain plot points that you will not get touched on depending on your route. Anything
okay.
with Catherine with a C, I didn't know anything about what happens with her because I looked it up.
Oh,
Not because the
okay.
route does not tell you a lot of
Okay.
things. Because again, Rin was like the focal point,
Mhm.
and then Johnny like punches you, and then everyone's like, oh, well, like everyone's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and then they all calm down, and all of them are like, well, Orlando and Johnny, they're like, whatever you do, dog, we're with you.
Mhm.
Like John was like, I'll punch you once and that's it. But now we're good.
Okay.
So like if you want to go after Rin, we're cool with it. Because he's like at the time you're like, oh, Catherine with a K, she's pregnant,
Yeah.
and like he's like, I'm fine, like I'll pay child support, blah blah blah, but I want to be with Rin, and they're like, well,
That's
if you want to do it, we'll like we're cool with it. Like
Mhm.
they're also true homies or whatever. But yeah, Rin's gone after that in the game. But for me, you save her, and then the at night 9. We all have a different cutscene, I believe, in night 9.
I believe so.
And mine is weird.
Like-
But I end up learning that all of them are weird.
At the
Yeah.
end?
No, like before the last like level.
Oh, really?
Like so mine it's a cutscene where you wake up and you think you're not in the nightmare anymore. But you're in the nightmare the entire time.
Yeah.
I think all of them are different.
No, that's how mine started too.
No, but that's how they start.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm saying like this guy. No, it's not. Like, I trust me. I know.
I mean, the stuff that happens inside this nightmare.
And no,
right?
that
I think
cutscene in
that
and
stuff
of
is
itself, the
different.
cutscene of itself is I think different.
But the
And
basic
minimum,
framing
mine
is
is completely
the same.
different than your guys. I know for a
Are
fact.
they all
Oh, for
nightmares
sure.
though?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
It's another night.
So the
Alex.
nightmare is different.
Yes, that's what I was been
Technically,
saying.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But the cutscene in and of itself is completely different. At least for mine compared to I don't know if Catherine K. the secret 100%. I can't say.
I
or
mean,
not.
we'll go
Yeah.
into what
But
happens.
mine
in
is very different because I was perplexed. I was confused for a second.
Yeah.
Because in mine, obviously, my character has to break up with both Catherines.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you use a scene with Catherine with a K. She comes to your apartment, and then you talk to her, and she's the one who says it first. She's like, "We should break up."
Okay.
She can kind of like tell that like Vincent's like no,
Yeah.
like, and then she obviously tells him, "I'm not pregnant. I lied."
Mm-hmm.
And then like, and she's like, "We should break up." And she's like, "Oh," like she like stretches like, "Oh, she's like, I'm so happy now." Not happy, but she's like, "Oh, like this feels like freeing."
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a certain scene that like it's I say well shot. It's not really the movie, but like it's the way how the game is. Where like when she stands up and she's at like the hallway, you can't really see her back. You can't see her face. And I wish I wrote it down. I don't remember. Let me double check. But like it's a mutual thing between you two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty obvious even beforehand because there's a scene where you're looking for Rin and you try to chase after her and Catherine with the K is like, oh, like you
Like,
do it
I
in front
knew
of
it.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, uh-oh. But
Yeah.
then she also is like, oh, maybe I should tell him
Yeah.
the truth too. So it's kind of like alluding that like it's obviously he's lying. Fence is lying to Catherine with a K, but she's technically also lying
Mm-hmm.
to him. So you can only be so much mad about that or whatever.
Yeah.
This is not the point. I'm like, Rin got no furniture. It's poor as hell.
She just has a piano. Yeah.
It's so funny.
And
That's
toys.
And toys. They make her happy though.
Yeah.
In general, like I think the basic thing about Rin was just like do whatever makes you happy, man. You know, like that's what I got. Even though I didn't do the Rin route, from what I could see from her, it was like,
We're in the spoilers part now. You keep calling her, but all the like the wiki and all that, just him.
Is it him on the wiki?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
What? Sorry, what?
For Rin, like we keep calling her, but like
No, well, in the spoiler parts it says both him, but in the non-spoiler parts they still say her.
Yeah, and like all the wiki and all that shit says him.
Oh really? I always just thought it was a her.
She's technically a boy who likes to cross dress.
I just thought it was a her. Like
I mean, technically she's an alien.
Well, yeah.
But to go back to, I don't know where
you were going.
But I wish I remember the line. I swear, I wish I wrote it down. Where like you guys are breaking up, Catherine with a K,
Yeah.
and you see her only her back, you don't see her face, and then like she's like, "Oh, I'm glad we're done or whatever." And I think he said something really nice, like,
Don't touch me. Sam
where
just
he's
touched
like-
me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 'cause he said it last time too. But he's like I don't regret going out. Like I did like you or whatever.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a scene. I imagine if you saw her face, she made it seem like she was like, who cares? Like, that's cool or whatever. Like she was fine with it. But I feel like she was like emotionally distressed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of endings with Catherine, you breaking up with Catherine in any facet, she's always like sad about it. Even though it's probably the best outcome of those endings.
Catherine with a K?
K. Like she's very like she's the one who likes you.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the beginning. So like even when you break up, she's still like very sad about it.
Not in mine.
Well, I don't know your ending.
Not in mine.
But like she's always like obviously she's doing all this shit for a reason because she likes you.
Yeah.
So after that, you then break up with Catherine with the C. You do it the straight sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like she's like gaslight you to thinking that you're not breaking up with her. Like she's like, oh, so you just have another girl, right? Well, that's fine. Like I can be your side girl, and you can stay with.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
And then he's like, he keeps hesitating sometimes, and I'm like, no.
She's like,
Vincent, just say it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm fine with it. And he's like, no, but I'm not.
He's like, no, I think you're misunderstanding
As long
something.
as I'm your main girl, it's okay. And
Yeah.
and you know what? If I was Vincent, I'd be like, fuck
I'm
yeah,
in.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Destroy the whole point of the ending.
Yeah.
And then after you break up, and she like gets upset or whatever.
Yeah.
And I start getting a little scared because I'm like, what's up with her? And it's interesting because you learn that the boss of the game, ironically enough, is the character named Boss.
The boss.
He's the boss of the
That
Stray
is pretty
Sheep.
cool.
And he's the boss of the whole game. And in that cutscene, she's like, "Oh, you know what to do, right?" And he's like, "Yep." And then they walk away, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, what is going on? Because that was before Boss is introduced to the villain.
That's interesting. I didn't. That's not even alluded to in my ending.
I'm just thinking, like, you guys said takes place somewhere in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I want to talk about that a little bit.
I didn't think that because, like, in Japan, isn't it like common to call like people like owners of shop bosses?
I don't know. Maybe that's just a carryover from just because it's Japanese developers.
Yeah.
Well, to be also fair, like their way they say boss is like completely different.
Boss.
So like they say no, they don't actually say that. Like, they have different ways of saying it or whatever.
Okay.
So like it depends what kind of boss it is. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I mean, Persona 5 did that with call the owner of a shop boss too. So like, I just thought it was common in Japan to just call the shop owner's boss.
What are you, a weeb?
Know all this
That's why I'm
Japanese
looking
things.
at Omar. I'm sure he would know the answer.
Omar.
Yes.
Keep going.
Anyways, blah blah blah. So then you wake up and you think it's not a nightmare, but mine gets immediately crazy. Cause you hear Rin's piano. And you're like, oh, Rin's back. So you walk in her room, and you see Rin.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you see Catherine with the C.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And then you see blood everywhere.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And by see Rin, you see her corpse.
Oh.
So she's dead on the piano. That's why you hear the piano play.
Yeah.
And Catherine with the C is just stabbing her multiple times.
Jesus
I just hear you slandering my girl.
No, I'm seeing her as a murderer.
Slander. Can you prove it?
She slashed.
Can you prove it?
I have the audio here.
Slander.
So she murders Rin.
Yes.
And then she's like, oh, well, I got that thing. I think she says thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on purpose. I think she's just being like anyone that's not with, like, just, she thinks that like anyone that's not her is like, they're not the real like love interest of Vincent. She's like, I'm number one.
Yeah.
So that's why she kills Rin.
Yes.
So then you run away and you close the door, and so she's stuck in there. And you go back to your room, and Catherine with the K is there. And he's like, oh my God, Catherine with a C. He doesn't say Catherine with a C. He's like, Catherine has fucking killed someone, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Catherine with a K is like, oh, I know. And you're like, what? And you look up. She has a fucking chainsaw.
Oh my God.
She has a fucking chainsaw. She goes to kill you.
What the fuck?
You dodge it. Cuts the door. Catherine with a C breaks the door. And then now both of them are like, oh, snap. Now, who are you? Because they don't know each other.
Yeah.
In Minecraft. They don't know each other at
You're
all.
telling me and Sam's girls team up.
So they're like,
pound it.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
so they're like
Pound me,
arguing.
brother.
They argue with
No.
each other. Who kills who? Who's gonna kill Vincent or whatever?
Yeah.
And then they fight each other. they're like, I'm gonna kill Vincent first, and I'm gonna kill Vincent first. So they fight each other. Duel of the Fates. They fucking cross.
Chainsaw versus knife.
I think she finds a crowbar.
Oh, okay.
Like a bigger weapon, I think. And the way it's shot, it's so crazy because you're outside of your room.
Yeah.
You hear all that, and then your whole face just becomes red. Blood just splatters out of the room.
God.
Oh,
and
onto
like
you.
your face is all red.
Okay.
And then you're like, who won? Because one that just got murdered.
Yeah.
And then you hear a chainsaw, and it's Catherine with a C. She killed
Let's
Catherine with
go.
a K. And then I was
Sorry,
like,
Sam.
at this point, I was literally like, what the fuck is going on? And then a fucking portal opens up from above. And I was like, wait, what? And Rin comes out. And she's like, Vincent. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. And then she like grabs you and... and it's like, I'm going now. My planet needs me. And takes you upwards.
She goes, Vincent, you go, babe.
And then you go up the portal and Catherine like misses you or whatever.
Okay.
And then you learned you were in the nightmare the whole time.
Yes.
So none of that really happened. No
So
one
she's able
fucking
to take you out of the nightmare or something?
because you learn later when they're out that she's an angel.
Okay.
She's and you can see she actually has angel like
Wings or something?
like on her shirt. On the back of her like neck or whatever, there's like little small wings.
I thought she was an alien.
And they emphasize at the end, we're like, oh, I'm an angel. Then like, they literally show it, and I'm like, oh shit, she's had it the whole time. You can literally look at the art right now; she still has it. Like she has it the whole time,
Cool.
the whole game. You
She has what?
I'm not gonna know. The little, she has like a picture of angel wings on the back of her shirt.
Yeah.
I'll
look for it.
But
talking.
so you save her, and then you're like, oh, we win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right before you think the game would end, time stops, and like you're fucking consumed in white light, and then you meet Rin's brother, which is an angel. I think his character's name's Archangel.
Okay.
And he's like, well, all right, good job, but Rin, come back home now. You know, you can't stay there anymore. And obviously you're like, well, I love Rin, stay with me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can't. And because now that you're trying to go out with my little brother, he sends an asteroid to kill Earth.
What the fuck?
And then Rin and them convince him, like, no, give me one chance.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you a chance with puzzles. So I have a 10th night where if you lose, the whole planet blows up and they all die.
After
the
you
fuck?
beat the boss, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I said I have more.
Okay.
So I have a 10th night where you do more puzzles with Rin, brother, the Archangel. You do those, blah blah blah, you beat them. And this is where it gets even weirder. Because after you beat him, he like explodes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you learn that they're aliens.
Oh.
All of them are aliens. They're like
Yeah.
little small pink like aliens with like antennas and shit. And
Like a Pikmin?
kind of, but like fatter.
You're gonna-
Like, but they have faces and mouths or
You're
whatever.
gonna have
Yeah.
to show me like after.
Maybe, yeah.
They
yeah.
look weird, man.
But you learn that like, oh, like we look like angels because people thought we were angels, but we're just aliens. So everything you guys thought were angel related, we did it.
Oh.
So like anything that's a miracle, it's them actually doing that shit or whatever.
Oh. That's kind
And
of cool.
Rin technically also looks like that because they kind of bring it up, but they kind of shuffle it aside. But she's also, they look exactly like those like small alien creatures. But they mentioned they sent Rin because she's like the piano player, she's trying to like guide like humans or whatever back. But the only way that she can function is to wipe her memories because she knows she's an angel.
Yeah.
She wouldn't be as effective. So that's the whole point. Like, oh, you're supposed to go back.
Yeah. He go.
You're supposed to, that's the whole point. Where like Arya's like, oh, you got to come back, and Rin's like, no, I love Vincent.
Okay.
So then there's 3 endings for Rin, the bad ending, neutral ending, true ending, whatever. The bad ending literally ends after night 9, and you're like, after you save Rin and blah blah, you're just like, well, Rin's gonna go out in the world and play piano, and I'm just gonna live life. So you learn nothing about the angels or anything like that.
Oh, okay. So you miss out on that whole part of
Yeah,
that
so
game.
like you lose that whole. So you beat the whole game and you don't even get all the endings. So the other Rin endings, again, it goes balls to the walls. Literally, Rin becomes a pianist
Okay.
in space,
Yes.
and you become a producer. So you travel the galaxies while she plays piano and like for aliens in space, and you have it with her.
Okay.
Okay.
And at the ending, all your friends, except for Catherine with a C, 'cause she's your friend,
my friend.
they're all there.
Yeah.
So like Catherine with a K is there, and like Johnny and all of them, and they're all in space with you. And Erica and Toby get together, and then Johnny falls in love with an alien.
Yes.
Who's like Two-Face, like half face, like yellow, half face purple or whatever.
I can see
And then
that.
they get married or whatever. But yeah, literally that's what the ending of the game is for Rin's, right? You
Are
become like a,
all your endings like aliens?
yeah,
Yeah.
because she's an alien. That's the I'm trying to like, except for the bad end, you don't learn any of that.
Okay.
But like, she's an alien. So when I beat all of that, I was like, this game went from like 0 to 100. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the other game must be normal, right? I ended up looking up the other endings. Nah, that isn't. It's not that crazy, honestly. That leap of faith of like the other endings are just as crazy, honestly.
Oh my
Well, like I said in the beginning, like the developers wanted to make Vincent more sympathetic, so they added. I think they added the whole succubus thing. Like I think originally Catherine with a C was just another woman. That was it, and
Yeah,
that would have been you would have to deal with the consequences.
That
of it.
succubus thing did come out of nowhere.
But in my ending with Catherine with a K, Vincent becomes like super weird. Like he has that nightmare where he's like he's in the nightmare, but he thinks he's not. And Catherine with a K.
What happens in yours?
So he wakes up and Catherine with a C is in his bed. And then he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck are you doing here? I thought I broke up with you last night." And then Catherine with a K comes in, like she knocks on the door and then she comes in. And then C is like trying to be all buddy and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you tea," and all that. Well, K is like, "What the hell is this? Like, what the fuck is going on? Are you cheating on me?" kind of thing. And then eventually, like, C starts talking to K, and she's like, "Oh, we're just an old hag. Like, your last week's news, all that jazz." And then eventually, K like tries to find a knife. She tries to stab.
Yeah,
she tries to stab.
she
Catherine
instigated
with a C.
we got the same. We got that same cutscene.
Okay.
Oh, you guys have the same?
Yeah.
So mine is the only
But
fucking
Catherine
crazy.
with a C is like, "Oh,
looking for
you
this?"
Yeah,
Gotcha,
exactly.
bitch.
Yeah. They end up tussling, and then Catherine with a K ends up stabbing Catherine with a C.
They make it look like C stabs K.
Yes.
Yes.
And then eventually you go through the cutscene with K. You do a puzzle, like a
Yeah.
whole puzzle level with
Yeah.
K.
It's like you guide her up. You have
Yes.
you have to make sure if anything happens to her, you lose the puzzle.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you leave enough of a path for her to go through.
And it was like short enough of a puzzle where you don't get a checkpoint.
Yeah,
So you have to do it in one go.
yeah. But yeah, then you end up doing that, and then for me, I was going for the true ending, like the freedom ending, right? But here's where this whole guide thing comes up, right? The guide told me, all right, so on the last level, before you do the nightmare scenario, you have to answer these questions. Yes, no. It's like no, yes, or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Right? And I didn't read the giant bold parentheses that said the answer to the first question doesn't matter. I didn't read that. So I just thought there were 3 questions. So by the time I got to the 4th question, I was like,
Wait a minute.
oh shit.
That first answer is not a no or yes question.
I don't know what it is. I thought it was an OES question.
No, it's like would you do anything to like get back with your?
But that is a no or
with
yes
an old
question.
love, and it's like yes, I would risk.
He doesn't mean
everything,
literally yes or no, but he's meant like it's an obvious like this is like
yeah.
The
yes
general
or-
idea.
yes.
But the other ones are
But I fucked
genuinely
up.
yes or no.
Yes, but I fucked up that first one. So by the time I got to the 4th one, I was like, oh shit. And I looked at the guide again and I was like, oh, I missed the bold text that said, it doesn't matter what you answer to the first one. It
Yeah.
matters what you answer to the last 3. So by the time I got to the 4th one, I was like, well, I guess I'll just answer with whatever I want. So instead of getting the true freedom ending where Vincent decides to be single and then like bet a bunch of money on something, I ended up getting the ending where he ends up with Catherine. It's a good ending where they end up getting married. They end up deciding to get married. And then the final cutscene you get is just them like hanging out like after they spend the night with each other. And that's it. That's the ending.
Well,
really.
since you went for the Catherine with the K ending, did you also get that scene with Johnny where it's implied that he loves Catherine?
Yes, I do get that, but I didn't understand. I was confused by that. I don't remember that from the original game.
So it is in the original one. But it's pretty small, and unless you get a specific ending, you kind of don't see it as much.
Is there an ending where he steals her?
No, but there's
No?
I think it's the
Oh, it's my ending. It's my ending.
it's yours, right?
It's my ending.
There is an ending. Oh, you can go ahead. Then. We'll go into Catherine with the C's ending here, Alexander.
So my ending. So right when the dream ends, where you save Catherine from the puzzle, What happens? I don't remember.
After
Are
you
you
save
asking
Catherine
us?
with a K?
After you save Catherine with a K, you go and meet up with Boss. You find out he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's the bad
like,
guy.
yeah. And then he's like, this final night, you will die. And then you go and do the puzzle. And the yes or no questions come up. I get an ending where you meet up with Catherine with a C at the bar, like right after. And so before this, I'm sorry guys, I'm really drunk. Before this, it really makes you think that you're gonna go with Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
And you look at I had subtitles on, and it kept saying Catherine with a K. But later on, once I started answering my questions, it just every time you said Catherine, it wouldn't show the word anymore.
Oh, like it was ambiguous. Like,
Yeah,
you wouldn't know who he
it
was
could
talking
go either way at this point.
about. Oh.
Yeah, so
Except
I'm like
Catherine.
yeah. So I really thought I was gonna get a Catherine with a K ending, but then like the cutscene starts. He's sitting at the booth with Catherine with the C, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I really wish there's a way I could change the past and like meet under different circumstances." And she's just like, "Well,
Check this shit out.
with me you can." And
Yeah.
she just like booms him out of there in a portal.
That's the portal I was talking about.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
booms him out of it in the portal. I'm like, yo, what is happening?
Yeah.
And it just shows him back as a teenager in school, and then everybody's like, yo, check the new girl out. She's really smoking. And then it cuts like a couple years later, and they're like, oh, he's such a lucky guy. And someone's like, well, his parents, they just go through a lot of shit, so maybe he deserves this.
Yeah.
He's like locking arms with that Catherine with the C, and then it's like it turns out they got married, and in like there's a scene where they're taking pictures at their wedding. Erica, not a girl.
Not a girl.
Not a girl.
Yeah, I was waiting when we were gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll say that a little bit later.
Yeah, no, Erica is Eric,
Yes.
and it turns out that Johnny and Catherine with the K are actually like, she's playing the piano, and Johnny's like, oh, maybe we should tie the knot soon. She's like, yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. And then
I think you're misunderstanding that cutscene actually.
What?
You can finish explaining it, but I think you're misunderstanding something there.
Oh, maybe. I am drunk. But yeah, no. Then it's just like fast forward another couple years, and Catherine with the C and Vincent have some babies. And then
They're cute. I saw the picture.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty
adorable.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I got the best person
For you.
the best ending for that, because the other endings are like, oh, Catherine's like, I don't want you back, and leaves. Or there's two more endings where he either just goes to live with her in like hell or some
The
shit.
demon
Becomes
realm.
the demon
Yeah.
lord or whatever.
Yeah, he becomes
No,
like
no,
a
no.
demon king.
There's one where they're just living like that, and Boss is like their guardian.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like they're sleeping in a bed. He wakes up. Boss is right next to him. He's like, "Yo, what's happening?" She's like, "Oh no, he's just here to keep it watch
my
on us." And there's the like, what used to be the true ending for Catherine with the C before Full Body, where he becomes the
Demon
hell
Lord.
demon lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each girl has, I think, 4 endings, and then Rin has the 3. But
Yeah.
and then we talk about Johnny. I don't remember which ending it is, but there's an ending where obviously Johnny's not with Johnny.
Johnny
Vince is
ends
not
up-
with Catherine.
Yeah, and Johnny does.
No,
Right?
because throughout the whole game, Johnny, not the whole game, but like a lot of times with Johnny's, he likes Catherine with the K,
Yeah.
but he doesn't like her enough where he will betray Vincent.
Mhm.
Yes.
But he still shows up in the nightmare.
Because he has those thoughts, right?
And there's
Yes.
another thing as well that's included. But there's an ending where obviously they're not together, and then Johnny's like, hey, I asked out Catherine with the K.
What?
And then Vince is like, what? But they're not together anymore. Like,
Yeah,
Vince
yeah.
and-
He's
and
just
they-
like, what?
and he's like, what? And he's like, no, I just kind of happened.
Now, is this kind of like years after, or
No, this is like not that long after.
this
Like,
man's
fucking-
breaking the fucking bro
Well,
code.
no, because he's trying to say it like, oh, I just happened to ask her. But it's obviously it's because he loves her or whatever.
That's not gonna hold up in court with the bros.
In the bro court.
Well, because
in the
Vincent,
bro
that's why
court.
Vincent's mad.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
This is not gonna hold up in the bro.
What a word you made up. And he's like, oh, I asked her out. And he's like, oh, shit, really? And he's like, yeah, but she said no. So, like, that's what kind of, like, his, like, final, like, okay, like, it's over or whatever. That's why Vince is not that mad anymore. He's like, oh, well, you still got rejected anyway. So,
Yeah.
I guess it won't be that as weird or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's like, a novel that came out.
Yeah.
That's like a prequel to this.
Yes.
Which, why I mentioned, like, oh, why Johnny's also there. It explains a lot of, like, stuff that happens kind of before the game and stuff that happens that off the game that you don't know about. Where there's another character that you don't know his name until like the ending. His name is a guy named Steve.
Yes.
He's a stray sheep that helps you throughout the whole game or whatever. Well, in the beginning. He helps you in the beginning or whatever. And then he calls you because he thinks, he's like, oh, you Catherine, you're cheating with Catherine or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's my Catherine or whatever. So in that book, they kind of talk more about that.
Oh, does
Catherine
Johnny confront him?
Catherine, with the C,
Yes.
has a different appearance depending on the person.
She had like black hair for him, right?
Yeah, she looks more. I believe she looks more Asian for Steve. And for Johnny, she shows up too, and she looks almost exactly like Catherine with a K, just without the glasses. But like she has like the long hair or whatever, and he meets him up with him, like he's at an aquarium by himself or whatever, and then she shows up and he's like confused. I'm pretending to be Catherine with a K, but obviously supposed to like kind of bring up that feeling.
Yeah.
And the fact that he like almost wants to do it because she looks like Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's it. You're too, and she's like, you're gonna have nightmares now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the night that he shows up.
What did she do to my boy Orlando?
I think he doesn't have that. It's just that his whole relationship with what happened with his ex-wife.
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't cheat. He's the one that got cheated on.
No,
he-
his ex-wife broke up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says that, but in reality, he's the one that fucked up. But he wants to convince everyone else that he
Okay.
did it. Because there's a cutscene when they're like in the sheep form. He tells you what happens.
Yeah.
That I think he lied or he cheated. He like stole money or something.
It was just like,
his business fell.
yeah.
He had a shitty business.
They mentioned that a lot, like actually, like small little snippets. They're like, "Oh, don't trust Orlando's like
money scam
investments."
scenes or whatever.
Yeah, like he has a history of that.
Like his wife left him because of him, not because of like the other way around.
Is it
Orlando makes it seem like he did left her.
Is it bad that I have many Orlando traits? Guys,
Yes.
don't trust me with money.
yeah,
Don't admit that out loud.
Don't give me a company card.
that's why you're not in charge of the fucking company card.
But yeah, that's why Orlando like there's a cutscene where like Johnny's like I keep saying Johnny. I keep thinking Johnny's the main character. Vincent says like, oh, he calls him out for like a second.
Damn,
and
Omar,
Orlando gets really mad.
that Virgin Coke is hitting you.
The what?
That version rum and
Oh,
coke.
I was like, I think it's a Divergent Coke. I love Johnny.
Shit.
I love Johnny so much.
This is gonna be the best episode.
Oh my fucking
I'm glad I'm not
god,
editing this. But
Sam, I'm sorry. It ain't bad.
dude, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Keep most of it up.
Holy shit.
I'll give you a minute.
I'm sorry.
All right, go.
But I did look up like all the different endings as well. I don't know all of them by heart anymore. But the alternative ending where Catherine is basically like, and the way to get it, you basically have to be an asshole in her eyes to get that ending. But to
For
do all the
Catherine
good
with a K?
things. Catherine with a K. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So what I understood is like you could be anywhere in the meter for Catherine with a C or K.
Yeah.
It just depends on the answers you choose on the final night, right?
No.
No.
Because okay. So no.
Where did I go wrong?
Trust me, I have a guide and I know how to read.
I thought
So
that
I
was
can kind of tell you. That's why I told you night 9 is kind of like the big decisions.
Yeah, because of the questions, right?
But what your meter is matters on the endings as well.
Really?
But to get Catherine with the C's ending, I believe you have to have like
you have to have them
either
all-
middle or blue,
Really?
and then you do answer the correct answers.
Yeah.
To get the alternative Catherine with the K ending, you have to be red, and answer all the correct questions.
The alternative?
To get the alternate, no. To get the alternate ending, you need to send. There's a.
That's what I meant. When I meant answer, sorry. There is in the night 6. There's like a whole like, send a video.
Oh, is that
in.
the one where I had to do that too, and I had to ignore her text the night before on night 5?
Oh,
Probably.
that makes sense. Yeah.
That's the only time where like you have to send specific messages specifically for both of you two.
Okay.
And if you don't do that right, you're all locked out of the
Yeah.
alternative
I
ending,
had to
but you'll
be-
get a different ending.
I had to be near the middle. I know because I was the guy. I looked at a guy for that part.
Good.
I looked up shit I had to do before, but the guy said be on slight blue a little bit, but I was slightly on red because I did this like honestly. I didn't want to like look at the guy for questions.
You didn't want to
Yeah.
lie to Catherine.
Yes. I'm like, if I get a Catherine with a K ending, or oh well. But I was slightly on red, and I still got the ending I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, because the end ratings are ironically enough like the opposite.
Yeah.
Like where like with the C, you can have like a
But
traditional good
to
ending.
get the the true Catherine ending with a C, don't you need to be fully on red?
I know.
So.
Oh wait. Oh, the true end. Yes.
true-
Sorry.
okay.
Yes. when you become the demon lord. We can't be the demon lord if you're not like in
you have to be
chaos.
chaotic.
Yeah, or whatever. And obviously with the Catherine with a K, if you have
Alright, so to get the bad ending, you need to be
the opposite.
opposite.
Yeah. So for C, you need to be blue to be the bad ending. For K, you need to be red to get a bad ending. And for Rin, I forgot to mention this. The meter just breaks.
Yes.
The meter breaks and becomes like a plant, like a seed. And if you answer correctly, the seed like grows into a flower. And if the flower blooms all the way, you're in.
Oh.
Or whatever. So that's like I completely forgot that mine. Yeah, mine just explodes.
I had it break, but I didn't know it would grow into a seed or anything.
It's like because I'm on Rin.
Does it
Right? So
repair?
yeah.
I guess not for you, right? It never repair back to a regular meter.
No, it just would like crack and then it would go back to normal.
No.
Like it would only crack in certain answers.
Oh, I guess what you mean. No, mine just exploded and just never existed again. I just had a seed the whole time.
Oh, by the way, while we're talking about all this new shit, because this stuff is not in the original Catherine. Right?
Yeah, most of the endings we're talking about is not the original one.
There's some scenes where I'm like, holy shit, this is really like overcorrecting and it feels really ham-fisted sometimes. Like that's the one criticism I have.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where there's like wrestlers and then Toby is like,
I remember.
oh,
that.
they're lesbians or they used to date or something. I don't know. There's something like that.
I didn't get that scene with Toby. I got it with Erica.
Erica's involved in that.
Erica
but
talks about
somebody mentions like they used to be lovers or whatever. And then Erica's like, don't you know that people like of the same sex date each other now? Like that's a thing now.
Yeah.
And then
Introduce Rin.
yeah, and then Rin is like, I think people should just do whatever they're most
they
comfortable
love.
with. Yeah, whatever they love. And then the scene ends, and that's it. And I'm just like, why did they? That just seems so heavy-handed. Like
You're
the
not
game.
wrong,
I
yeah.
mean, when are we gonna talk about Erica?
Okay, we can talk about Erica. I want to talk about Erica because there's two things
So,
with her.
yes.
In the original game, they got a lot of shit. Atlus got a lot of shit for this game because Erica was dead named in the credits in the Japanese and American version.
What do you mean dead named?
Dead
Eric.
name, yeah. In the to dead name someone a trans person. To dead name a trans person, it means you call them by their old name when they were before they transitioned. So in the original credits for Catherine, they called Erica Eric, and that was the confirmation that yes, Erica is trans in the original game. And they got a lot of shit for that. And then after Persona 5, the original version, there's a lot of criticism for that one because there's gay characters in there that get a lot of shit on. Because it's like, oh, where they're like super aggressive.
The Ryuji scene?
Yes, the Ryuji scene.
Okay.
That gets a lot of shit on. So when Full Body came out, they changed the dead naming, even though they still do that in the Japanese version, apparently.
They do that in my ending.
Yeah. They fix the whole credits thing. They add these new scenes where like everybody should be whatever they want, kind of thing.
They don't tell you that she is like a trans, right?
So yes, because
do they really?
no, I'm saying like yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no,
but they hint at it.
Yeah, because
there are times where it's
there's
like
Toby was like, "Oh, guys, I lost my virginity
and
last
then
night."
the way Orlando and then we're like, "Oh, let's not talk about this or whatever."
Yeah. Let's move on from this conversation.
There are other times where like Erica's like where she says like something about a woman and Vincent's like, "Yeah, we need a real woman's perspective."
Oh, yeah.
And then she gets mad about it or whatever.
I don't remember this
what?
scene in the original in Full Body, but does she get the nightmares in Full Body or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Because she's a man.
Because she's a man. Like,
and that's another point of people.
Yes.
But some people are like also like, is it only because she's a man because she was born that way?
Yeah.
Because and I almost called I'm blasted. I almost called him Johnny. I almost called Alex Johnny. I'm just thinking of Johnny now.
My name is Alex.
Alex is ending
ALEX.
AXXX. Okay.
Excuse me.
So in Alex's ending, Catherine with the C's ending.
Erica never transitioned.
So because Eric was originally a boy, he was Eric the whole time, even in high school.
Yes. So
or whatever.
at the
and there's
photo shoot for the wedding, you see a dude with red hair, and you're like, okay, that's Erica as a dude.
Yeah.
And in the game, they talk about there's a point in Erica, we'll keep on Eric because that's what she is now. Yeah. That she's like, oh, she disappeared for a long time, and they thought that she died.
She's not Erica in my future.
And in that, shut up.
Oh, in my
I'm saying we're calling her Erica.
In my timeline,
in my timeline, she's not Erica.
eyes.
She's Eric.
In the normal game,
okay,
Erica, they mentioned that she was gone for a while. And they thought she died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just broke up with someone. That's supposed to say that's the time where she transitioned from Erica, Eric to Erica.
Because they do allude that she came back differently.
Yeah, and that's why they're like, why they thought she died is that Eric died.
Yeah.
And Erica
came back.
Was what came out of it or whatever. But there are again like the hints are small, and like I wouldn't put it past you. Why Erica? Because it was especially your ending where you're like, well, who's this?
Yeah, like this is redhead dude.
Yeah, no, I pieced it together.
So we have the art book, and me and Sam have it because then the special version.
It shows Eric as a boy.
And there's a small picture which it shows as a boy, and I saw that picture and I was like, "What is that supposed to mean?"
No, I mean, I'm not completely stupid. I saw the hints like when they were like, "Oh, you sure you did it with Erica?"
Yeah.
During the game, I was like, "What are they alluding to?"
Yeah, no,
whenever Toby would like hit on Erica, they'd be like, "Oh,
good luck, buddy."
Yeah, I had my suspicions, and then my ending specifically, I put the nail in the coffin. I'm like, yeah, Erica was a dude before.
Yeah.
I think another with the whole Erica thing, where like the game doesn't flat out say things, and at certain like endings, you don't even learn some of these plot points, and they're kind of badly hinted at. And we didn't mention this earlier, and I want to ask you guys, where do you think this game is set?
I mean, all I know is that it's set in the U.S.
New York?
Do you have a guess?
No, I mean like Chicago. I don't know, Midwest.
You ready?
Yeah.
Space.
What?
Yo,
It's
what?
Space.
Is it? What?
It's space.
What do you mean?
They said somewhere in the U.S.
I never said this.
Tell me where
That's why
space U.S. is.
How do you get that?
space. It's in space.
Okay.
So, and the quick as I was playing the game, I was also being a real like, is this a Japanese? Because I'm like, why is everyone American? Like Johnny. Then I'm like, what are these non-Japanese names?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I was kind of like, what is this? And then I started thinking, I'm like, where is this like setted? Because they don't really say certain things. They don't really go outside. You literally just go bar, rooms,
I
and
thought it was
that's it.
Japan.
Yeah.
'Cause they also go to like a sushi bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to
the
sushi.
Rotary bar.
Like a sushi bar, and then they go to like they look white.
Yeah, they do. They are white. Orlando is like the whitest.
Yeah.
Johnny, like,
Quiet,
is
that's
a white
fine.
guy.
That's why I fuck with
And then
Orlando.
Toby and Orlando are just blondes, and obviously
Yeah.
that's like more American. And that's what Japanese people think Americans are, just blonde all the time.
Yeah.
But it is set in space.
What do you mean?
So it's funny because the ending you were trying to get, Sam, the True Freedom ending,
Yeah.
it involves him. So you know the poster in his room,
Yeah.
the space travel.
No.
You're so bad at paying attention, aren't you, Alex?
There's a bunch of ads
I'm
to
so
this.
drunk.
I think there's literally a scene in the game where he says like space.
Did you talk about space travel with his
it's-
friends?
Drunk Alex doesn't remember. Sober Alex might have some idea.
To be fair,
Who
I don't
knows?
believe that.
Who
There
knows?
are sometimes you're like, wait, really? Like when you're not drunk and you're like, that happened in the game?
Suspense.
Yeah.
I'm adding suspense. We can't all be know-it-alls.
Exactly.
You're just admitting that you're just stupid.
Acting stupid.
Acting only goes so far.
Okay, so it takes place in space.
I'm
So-
a good actor.
Debatable. But it's technically, it's one of those things where literally it's almost the game never almost says it, but there's such small hints that it's like, again, the whole area, like the Erica thing, but this one's worse, honestly. So the True Freedom ending, the one that Sam was trying to get,
Yeah.
he obviously doesn't get with anyone,
Okay.
and I think Sam mentioned like where he bets on a wrestling match,
Yeah.
and then he beats Boss. Boss like, what do you want? He's like, give me like $500,000 to do the space like travel thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have that money. So he gives him a bunch of money and he bets on the wrestling. So he gets all the money and he goes to he does the space travel thing. So when he goes to the spaceport, it's out like it's in space, but he's there. Like that's where he's starting from.
Yeah.
So he's already in space. So he's gonna travel to a different colony in space.
Yeah.
So that ending shows space.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that ending takes place on Earth. He's just going to a different planet.
No, he's not on Earth. The game's they mentioned it's not on Earth.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, as we established earlier, this is all a soap opera,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
we're watching it at the Golden
I guess
Playhouse.
you're right.
Again, obviously,
The
succubuses, aliens,
the true ending is that the lady at the Golden Playhouse likes us, the character.
The player.
She likes
player.
me.
Because if you play Babel,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
play all of
happened.
Babel.
Yeah.
There's a side
Yeah,
game called
it's weird.
Babel.
Alternate ending, Omar.
Extra ending.
You went
fucking
first of all.
idiot.
You went from true ending to alternative ending
If you
Because
play,
the true ending is the one where I end up with Catherine.
with a C. C is for cunt. That's what I feel about Kelly with a C. I hate
for
her.
he ends
Queen
up
Goddess.
with a blonde fucking queen.
Q. Catherine with a Q stands for queen because she's my queen.
Queen with a C.
You could tell who didn't finish college. Me.
I'm the one with the associate degree. Okay.
I have
Wasted no
a
money.
bachelor's degree. Fuck you guys. Anyways,
I have a high
if
school
you-
diploma.
There's a separate. We totally didn't mention this. There's a separate mode outside of the entire game called Babel, where you go through puzzles that are randomly generated. The puzzles in the main game are specifically strategically set up to have a specific solution.
Well,
in
not
Babel.
that specific. But
Sure, but it's
there
like-
is a
So
there's source
you
of
guys
it.
followed a guide. You can't really do that with this, can you?
I didn't know, not with Babel.
Okay.
You have to just be good at the game.
Okay.
And there's 4 levels to Babel.
So you're saying I can do it?
if you're good.
Alex is built different.
If
Remember?
you beat Babel, then Ishtar, the woman who talks to you at the very beginning of the game, what is she?
The one with the
Trisha.
Trisha, the
two
Midnight Venus.
afros.
She reveals herself to be Ishtar, the goddess, who is referenced in the main story
And in the Rapunzel game.
and the
In
Rapunzel
the
game.
arcade game.
And she's like, falls in love with you or something.
She deems you like worthy because
Yeah.
she knows that you're not Vincent, you're a player.
She's
saying,
yeah.
and she's saying that the puzzles in the game was to test you, the player. So the fact that you beat the game, you're now like you're like a bachelor for her.
She
Or he's a
falls in love
bachelorette.
with you guys. I am spoken for.
Well, I am too, Rin. Catherine. I'm fine with Catherine.
All right.
I'm technically spoken for. I didn't want to be though.
Ishtar.
Ishtar.
So
Oh wait, did you see the original design for Trisha or no?
With long hair.
With one afro.
No,
yeah.
I saw one with long flowing hair.
That's like concept art, but in the original version of the game, she just had one afro.
really.
And then in the full body, she has 2 afros.
Okay.
On the side. So she changed too a bit.
Okay.
Um,
And she's the one that also likes Joker.
Yeah, I guess she likes Joker for some reason.
yeah.
because that's like the main.
I mean,
you're the insert
I
character.
like Joker.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I
though.
like Joker.
I'd fuck Joker.
Joker's a good looking. Joker looks like
I would never fuck
Vincent,
Jared Leto.
not on crack.
Well, have you seen there's concept art of Joker from Persona 5? I'm sorry, this is a whole fucking tangent. This probably is the worst episode,
This
Omar.
is the best episode.
There's concept art of Joker from Persona 5 where he looks scraggly as fuck. Almost like Vincent's son, almost.
Oh my god.
So yeah, maybe Ishtar is into Joker.
Joker would be my favorite video game character if it wasn't for those separate eyes. They're so far apart.
His eyes are not that far. Anyway,
They're
sorry.
very far
I'm
apart.
I'm so sorry. What were we talking about,
I was
Omar?
on space. Though. You're in space. the whole time.
Space.
There's other hints, but you guys just completely sidetrailed.
What are the other hints?
There's a cutscene. I think it's the beginning of the game where like it shows the weather, and it shows it's raining, but it literally says rain will stop at 2.58 because it's artificial rain. It's not real rain.
Ah.
So it's all planned rain.
I feel like I did see something like that.
It's like a very quick cutscene or whatever. But
Yes. I feel
that
like-
scene is
Yeah, no,
quick.
I feel like it showed up later too. I don't know if I'm mixing this with something else I saw recently, but I did see rain will stop at this time. It might have been Doctor Strange. Who knows?
So fucking weird. What the hell?
But yeah, you're in space the entire time.
You know, I feel like that happened in Doctor Strange too. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you're the whole time you're in space, and then there's a picture of it, like what the colony actually looks like,
Uh-huh.
and it's based off San Francisco.
Okay.
That's what the place is like supposed to be
Okay.
like. So like the place that they're in is similar to San Francisco. Like the people, like fans are like, this is the most similar.
Yeah.
It's to San Francisco or
I mean,
whatever.
what is there to tell by?
I think there's like pictures or whatever, like because there's a picture of what the city looks like zoomed out or whatever.
Okay.
And there's certain stuff the characters talk about or whatever.
Like what?
I don't know. I didn't read it that much into it. I was just like, I just learned the space thing, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But they meant again, like it's really badly hinted.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, like, if you didn't get that specific ending, you would never.
Like it's
would've
one of
even-
those things that you don't need to really see. Like it just kind
That
of.
doesn't change much.
I do
Yeah.
remember there being a line. I think it's like a couple that you see in the bar. They're like, "Oh, maybe we could finally go on that space trip for a honeymoon." She's like, "Yeah, they dropped it from $8,000 to $5,000,
Yeah.
or
80 to 80, like 800 to 500. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It's a
Yeah.
lot.
There are like I guess certain characters that were like not like poured in, like they say stuff, and you're just
Uh-huh.
like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
But you kind of just keep going because like the game just so much shit's happening all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So does that imply that this whole like Ishtar trial of the fucking unfaithful men or whatever happens only on this planet? Because why else would all these people who go through the dream? I know, Alex, you didn't get that, right? But if you save all the people, they end up going to the stray sheep. Why the fuck would all these people from all over the world know where the stray sheep
I
is
did
at?
get part of
Well, so everyone you save are people who attend the straight sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes. The only two people who don't, you tell them in the game to show up there.
The ones I saved.
You tell the cook and
and then the rich
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But then
They're the only characters you tell them to
the
go
cook
there.
says that he delivered to
Yeah,
them.
so he's like he works at a different place.
He knew about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they're all from that area. Like he's
Yeah.
only targeting people in the area, not because of this planet. It's just like people that go to the stray sheep,
Yeah.
which is the whole point of the bar, is to get people who have those issues usually go to a bar to drink this. So that's where you can find them. So like it's not just because it's the planet, just the area that he
makes
knows.
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So then when Thomas Mutton was taunting Vincent, and he said, "Oh, I think you were born after we killed the woman your mom, the man your mom
Thomas
was with."
Mutton's the boss, just so people know.
Yeah, that's his real name. You learn.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you were born after we separated your mom from the man she was with originally." Right? I couldn't
I don't know
remember. I
any about
couldn't
this,
tell.
actually. I don't know this at all.
Oh, really?
I
He
read somewhere that I think you mentioned earlier, he's been going through a lot.
Because
I have no idea what happened.
No, they were fighting.
And they were having an argument, and
Yeah.
Thomas Mutton says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were born
Yeah.
after we separated your mom from the man who was misleading her or whatever."
Yes.
So, I don't know. I guess like maybe that implies that Vincent's dad went to that bar, or I don't know, but that didn't really.
It's
imply.
probably just like he's also just is unfaithful.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Thomas Mutton's like the only one of those.
Technically, he
Judges?
is. He
Is
is.
he?
Because remember, when you're
he's the last one to climb the top of the tower. He was the last one to climb the.
well, that was also like again they said like
Yes.
a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't think there's just one person judging all these couples because he says our goal is
Yeah.
to stop.
I
all
think
these,
he's talking about
the bad couples from reproducing, basically.
That's what what's the character Amethryth, the person in the chapel.
Yeah, the chapel guy.
That's their goal too, but he's kind of like the guy on the ground
Yeah.
Yeah.
is what Thomas Mutton is.
He also mentions Ishtar for a second or two.
Yeah, they mentioned Ishtar some random a couple times.
Kind of seemed that they weren't like on like good terms.
It's because he's done his own thing, but we have the same goal. But he's probably just going to the extreme. Like
So-
we'll help him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's doing his own thing.
I feel like Thomas Mutton's kind of like a rogue, like.
I think because it's one of those things where it's like a human is allowed to have the power of God.
Yeah.
So now he's probably abusing it.
Yes.
That's why the gods probably don't look at him as fondly, but they're like, well, he's a god, so we can't really say no.
Maybe.
Yeah, no,
That's how I think the game is supposed to be like that.
So like Sam was saying, like you were born because we interrupted, but I don't think he means him himself, like just other succubus in general.
I don't know.
I just think it's. Well, then again, I can't defend it 'cause again, I don't even remember this part to be honest. So I can't be like you're wrong. I just don't remember this at all.
But I think this just goes to show how much more interesting this game is than some other games with different diverging plots.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make us like you said. You wanted a sequel. I'm
I
surprised
would
they
love a
didn't,
sequel.
since they didn't have to set it at the Stray Sheep. It could be anywhere. It could be succubus anywhere in like the fake Earth that Omar says is happening.
I do think though, how the game ends, it's like, what can you really build up after that though?
Yeah.
Where the kind of game, the whole time you're like, what's going to happen?
Mhm.
And then it kind of turns into 100 at the halfway point or whatever. So if you play a sequel, you already know there's oh, okay, well this person's probably a succubus or this thing or whatever. So it's kind of less of a new thing.
Yeah, that's-
not because you're
I guess.
replaying it. It's it's gonna be a new game.
It's more like you want to see a different story.
Yeah, but I guess it also implies if there is another story, then it would imply that one of the endings is true. And I think Atlus with this game specifically is the ending that you get is the canon ending. I don't think they've ever confirmed which one is the real
as long
ending.
as they don't reference Vincent in the sequel, I don't feel like they have to go that route.
I don't know.
Like if they don't mention Vincent at all, you can't really confirm one ending over the other.
I think
guess
also because Atlus, all the Persona games are connected.
Yeah.
So they're probably if we have a counter 2, that has to be not because they have to, but I think they like doing that.
I mean,
So I think they're just saying Catherine is its own story, and that's it. There's no more needing
okay, so
more of it.
we talked about how they had Vincent in Persona 3. They're like, okay, this takes place at a different universe, but give him a mole.
Yeah.
What about the Phantom Thieves showing up in fucking
Well,
battle?
none of us played the DLC.
Yeah.
So there probably is an explanation. Well, we none of us have played it.
What about
Yeah.
the whole explanation of Ishtar being in love with Joker? Come on.
I think she's just able to perceive different universes.
Because she's
I
a
don't really know.
goddess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because the Persona universe, your personas are gods, and a lot of time they're just gods.
Honestly, I think the way this game works in general, and this is gonna be my last pin on the cushion. I don't know what I would say. I forget the word. I'm so sorry. This is so bad.
You didn't have to correct. You just kept going.
Keep going, Sam. Keep going.
I think this game is so good in terms of storytelling, in terms of gameplay, that they didn't need to make a sequel. And the fact that they made a definitive version of it, like, and we're still able to improve on it, like, this game doesn't need anything else.
I'm glad they made a definitive. I was gonna go with Catherine with a C for any, like, I don't care what you guys told me. I would have kept going.
Yeah.
This game gave me the ending I wanted.
Yeah. Like, it's a wish fulfillment for whatever kind of guy would probably be out there, you know? Unless you're looking for a non-straight relationship.
Man. A wholesome relationship.
A wholesome relationship, sure. This game is really, like, up to the player to decide what ends up happening, and I think that's the beauty of it. You know, with 999, there's really only one real ending, but it gives you the most content. And sure, Omar, when he went with Q, he ended up getting a lot more content, but I feel like me and Alex, even though we went with different girls, we felt like we still got a complete story.
Yeah.
We didn't miss out on anything.
Got what we wanted.
Exactly. And that's what's so fucking good about this game.
Yeah. Even if I got any of the other Catherine with the C endings, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
I think there might be an ending where
except the bad ending. Except the bad ending. I would have been like,
because if you're like a good guy and then you just reject her, I think she just like probably kills you or something.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, Omar, what do you think?
There are a couple other things I want to talk, and it all involves my life.
We never talked about his
my
friends.
brain died for a second. No, we did.
talked about Orlando and Johnny.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, if you guys say so.
We had a whole bit about it.
Oh my fucking god.
If you guys say we did,
We did.
We did. Trust me, I remember. I'm the only sober one.
Okay.
I was genuinely shocked with what Alex was like. I want Catherine with the C.
Why?
Because as I was playing the game, Catherine with the C's character, I thought she was just like a psychopath. Because I was just like, there were times where like, she just automatically assumes you're just like a thing. And now that I know that she's a succubus, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like a little crazy.
But like, before I knew that, I was like, why would anyone want to go well with her?
No. I totally understand why someone would want to go with Catherine with C. Because she represents like a person who's just entirely free. Like, I think Vincent
She's
mentions
fun.
it. She's fun. Yes, she goes for fun and what pleases her in the moment.
When they say that, I'm like, when? Because the only times you see her is when after sex.
But it's
and then you feel guilty.
It's
and that's
implied
it.
that she's fun.
Yeah.
So that's another point I want to mention, because you mentioned Sam mentioned like way in the beginning he said some stuff, and I'm like, there's something I want to correct you about, but I'll wait till way later. This is the way later, is that you're like, you get
fuck up.
like, so I forgot what exact Sam's wording was, but he was like, you get to have a relationship with Catherine with a C. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much alluded to that Catherine with a C rapes you because you don't remember anything, and every time you sleep with her. And at least for me, because again, I wasn't going on her route, so every time I said no to her every time. It's implied, and what I gathered is that either you're drugged by the boss, because again, obviously he's the whole purpose is trying to get you to do this, and you're drugged by him, and then Catherine takes advantage of that, and then you wake up and you don't remember anything at all. Mm-hmm. So when you're like, what just happened? She doesn't say shit. So you're basically, she rapes you.
Okay. On your playthrough.
But to be fair, in the beginning of the game where you have no choices, that happens.
Yes.
Because he's also like, I didn't do it. She did it to me. So I think guaranteed night one that happens.
But I think night one he was just too drunk.
I think so.
But again, he's drunk because boss is there.
Yes.
And then he doesn't remember anything after that point.
Myself, I would have consented regardless.
But I honestly think this is one of the situations where it's up to the player to decide what happens, because personally I didn't think it was that. I thought honestly she didn't do anything. I thought she was gaslighting him the whole time.
I thought she was just like saying, we
did all this, and then they didn't actually.
She was just there to give him the dream.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't even think there was anything actually going on, especially because later on Vincent's like, oh well, she's a succubus, she's not real, like I didn't actually cheat, none of that actually happened.
See, in my route,
in his reality,
again, they don't even bring up the succubus ever.
Really?
So I never knew that. Again, because I beat the game, I looked up other things. So there is no mention of I was confused why her and the boss were talking in that one scene.
Yeah.
So in my point of view, it just seems like she just took advantage of you when you're completely wasted.
My point of view, Rin hitting on you every single constant moment of the game is harassment. Okay.
Wow. Listen, in my point of view, whenever Catherine with a K would put you down, that shit was hot, okay?
You were like, yes.
Whenever she would tap the table and be irritated, I was like, yes, mommy, yes.
Oh my god.
Love,
it all depends on your point of view.
Were you really thinking she was harassing me?
I mean, I was saying like, no, you don't gotta tell them that you love them. Come on, I'm trying to go get for the other girl.
I love you, Q.
I think this just proves that this game
Lets you do whatever you want, how you see it.
exactly, and it leaves so much open to interpretation that it lets you perceive whatever you want to for this game.
And that's pretty difficult to do in a game.
This game just fucking like showed our whole interest in women.
I feel like I'm being pointed as the most normal.
Yeah.
Sam likes that dominant type.
I will say this as well. I knew from the very beginning, because I was spoiled a long time ago, that Rin was a boy. I knew that from the beginning.
I did know
so
that.
I never knew. I never
all
was
over
like
fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
The game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not on Twitter, so I wouldn't know. But I forgot. I just learned.
I knew she was a boy. I did not know she was an alien.
Yeah, that was
That's
left
a whole
field.
nother
I think I asked Sam about this when he tried to show me the game.
Yeah, he was like, "Is that a guy?" And I'm just like, "Well, kinda, yeah." I mean, yeah.
He like cute. That's what it is. That's it.
It's cute.
But I think for me, like, even though I knew that, even though that I did know that, out of all the three choices and Catherine's or whatever, Catherine, Rin, whatever.
Yeah.
I agree with that message. Where like in mine, a lot of it, it's like where you mentioned earlier in the beginning, like, oh, love can be whatever.
Yeah.
Vincent the whole time is like, because Orlando's very like, dude, like, but like Catherine's packing her. I think it's one of his exact lines. I thought it was so funny.
I think he does say that.
He's like, he's packing, bro, or whatever. And like Vince is like, yeah, like I don't care, man.
Yeah.
Like she just sees like the way he sees me. It's like that's who I am, or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it kind of emphasizes like, and with kind of the whole alien thing, I think that takes it to the next level. Like he doesn't care that Rin is an alien. Like he loves Rin.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And like for me, it's like if I played original Catherine Classic, I don't know if I would have that great of a time because I didn't like any of the other two Catherines.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely was like, God, I hate you, both of you women.
That original Catherine was a game for me and Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm glad I played this because if Rin didn't exist, the second I met Rin, I'm like, I'm in. Like I love Rin.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the ending I had, I would have gone for full fucking Demon Lord route. I don't care.
I'm the Lord of the Demons,
You're fine.
baby.
Yeah.
Anything for Catherine with a C.
So yeah, this game is just in general almost wish fulfillment, but like it makes you think a bit. Like even though I wanted Catherine with a K, or like in this second playthrough I wanted Catherine, like I didn't want anybody.
Freedom.
Like it makes you really think about just in general like relationships in the past, what you might not want in the future. Like it's like, listen, like I know like games like The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 is like, oh, this is so realistic and so like heavy. But this one is just, I don't know, it's just so like essential, I feel like.
It just feels real in the aspect of Last of Us. I don't know why we're just gonna bash on Last of
I'm
Us.
so sorry.
But
You can bash on Last of Us too. That's fine. Not the first one.
but like Last of Us, I feel like, oh, it's real or whatever.
Yeah.
It's real and like it just like the dialogues or whatever, the characters.
Yeah.
But like this game, the atmosphere is real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though like there's like succubuses, time travel, you're sharing space, angels and aliens and shit. Like if you strip all of that away, it feels like, because it really is just a dude stuck in limbo
Yeah.
in a dead end relationship, throw in some spice. What now? What?
Yeah.
And that's when you have the most knee jerk reaction. What do? Do you change? Do you stay the same? And like what those entail for at least specifically in Vincent's character.
I'm gonna go ahead and argue with Sam and agree with Omar.
Okay. Sure.
I don't like. You were talking about how this game shows you like what you want to see in a partner and all that.
I was going to disagree with that.
Yes.
Actually.
And no, this game did everything good with the partner. I know what I want. I'm the problem. I agree with Omar. I need to see what I gotta change.
No, I understand that. But what I mean is like, what I mean by what you want to see in a partner, it's not like I want a partner just like Catherine with a K.
No,
It's saying like
I don't want a succubus.
There are things that
I know what I want.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it shows you things that you do and don't want in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that like, you know how like we watched Lady Bird a while ago. I know we're referencing old shit now, but we watched Lady Bird a while ago, and she had to deal with some weird relationships and issues.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like this, I guess maybe because focusing on Vincent, we're able to understand more because we're men. But we're able to see like what we do and don't want. Like the things that I don't like in Catherine with a K, I don't want that in a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I do want in that relationship, I do. You know, like it. I don't know. Something about it is just so fucking compelling.
I also think even like the non-women relationships is like great.
Yeah.
Where like the boys, like him and the boys.
My one problem is there's not that one boy you would be gay for. Everyone has
Rin?
that boy.
Rin?
For you. For you. I wanted my Vincent to be fucking on Toby just like how I am for Chewie. Okay?
I don't want to intertwine your male fantasies into this. But
I don't know.
I think like the relationships are interesting with all the, at least for the three. I'm not including Toby. Sorry, Toby. But like with Johnny, Orlando, and Vincent, I think it's so interesting where like they've been friends since high school. So like, what are they, like 15? And like they're 32. They're like twice their age.
Yeah.
They've probably known each other longer than they've not known each other at this point in their
Yeah.
lives. And again, they're still homies. They're still best friends. They still see each other all the time. But I think it's interesting because like
We're getting to that point, Sam.
I think it's already almost there.
We're 22. We've known each other for 10 years.
Oh my god.
I like because Johnny's character, he never tells Vincent that he loves Catherine with a K.
Yeah.
And Orlando's divorce, he never actually tells them what really happened with his divorce.
Yeah.
But Vincent tells them everything.
Yeah.
He immediately told them the second he cheated, like, I cheated.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, Catherine's pregnant with a K. She's pregnant. I love Rin. He tells them everything. And it's like, it's interesting, like, that, like, he's the one that says all that shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Point of the story: Sam's the Vincent of this group. He's wearing the shirt for a reason.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like that, like, because that is really, like, just because you've been friends for like your whole life, like there are some times where like I'm not gonna say these things, like,
Yeah.
like Johnny is known in the group to be like the one that reveals the least about
Yes.
himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know is very open about him being like a womanizer
Yeah.
and all that stuff or whatever. So like Johnny, like the only times you only learn stuff about him is that randomly he'll be like, yeah, I'm looking for a soulmate, and that's it, or
Yeah.
whatever.
But you learn that stuff through Toby. It's not even Johnny revealing
Yeah, like
it. It's
Toby's the one who
Toby.
pushes up because
Yeah.
he's like the more, because they work together.
Yeah.
And like he's the most he's the young, energetic group friend of the group or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys do, like, Orlando and Vincent work together too. They're coworkers.
Yeah.
That's why like they take lunch
You
together
see them
in the
in the
bathroom or
bathroom.
whatever.
They
In the
piss-
bathroom or whatever.
They puke together.
Well, I think they're doing the classic. Let's just go to the bathroom, quote unquote, and just take a break basically without we still get paid for it.
yeah.
But like, yeah, like technically, like the two pairs work for like with each other or whatever. So that kind of also helps relationships, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, if you work with each other, you're still in contact with
Okay.
them. But like, the whole plot of this game is cheating. That's the whole crux of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. Where like, probably a bad time because you guys are completely
You
plastered.
wanted to ask us something.
Yeah, you guys are completely plastered, so who knows how you'd answer. Like, cheating for me, I would do it. No, I'm just kidding.
You would do it.
I think out of all three of us, I probably have the least amount of relationship experience
Yeah.
out of all three of us, I think.
Yeah.
So like I've only had one girlfriend, and I don't even want to count it. I was 14, so like, do you really want to count that?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't want to really be in that relationship.
Yeah.
I kind of just said yes as a pity. I
Yeah.
hope she doesn't listen to this. But I think it's interesting because ironically enough, I was tempted during that relationship where it was so weird because this girl, we're all again, my school is super small. We're all in the same fucking classroom the whole time. And this like 2 days after everyone found out I was dating my girlfriend, she like started texting me, which she never has, and started like flirting with me. And I was just telling her to stop, and she just kept going.
Okay.
And I learned that she lived like across the street from me. I had no idea.
Is she still?
And then no, I don't live there anymore.
Okay.
So I remember one time I skipped school to like help move to get to the house I am in now,
Yeah.
and she saw me and she's like, "Well, why'd you lie about skipping school or blah blah blah?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I got so scared.
Yeah.
But it was weird because she was friends with my girlfriend. They
Oh.
were friends. So
That's weird.
And at that time, I was like, "What do I do? Do I tell my girlfriend that her friend is like flirting with me?"
Yeah.
And that's kind of like not the same as Johnny, Vincent, and Catherine, where like no one knows anything, but like it's difficult. Like you don't want to tell someone that you have a relationship with that like someone in their relationship is trying to do something like wrong. Because
Yeah.
Johnny telling Vincent, "I love your girlfriend," that's gonna be like, that's a lot to say to someone.
That's crossing
Yeah.
the bro code.
And me, like a 14-year-old, I just didn't say anything, and I was like, I'm just gonna ignore her and then not tell my girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
But like now that I'm like 22, or I'm not 22, I lied. I don't know why I lied about my age. I'm 23 now.
Are you?
I'm 23.
Damn.
Yes, I'm older than you guys.
Old enough.
You are.
Like hypothetically, if Alex, let's say like Alex had a girlfriend
Yeah.
or whatever, and like I was infatuated with her, I would never be able to tell Alex.
Yeah.
I hope not. I will kick your ass.
And
I
like,
think we established yesterday that I would win here.
I think we established I would win. I have more strength than all of you.
Regardless of who would win.
Yes,
Yeah.
anyways. And that's about our machismo or whatever. But like, that's also one of the bringing back the past. The Swiss Army Man, where like, if you hold in your farts with me, what else are you holding back?
Yeah.
Where, like,
yeah.
if you're really friends with them, you would tell them the truth.
Yeah.
But like at a certain point, when is it too far? When is it like too much that you know it would just end badly,
I think
as opposed to like you're just that great of friends?
Johnny had it right. Like,
Johnny did
Just
it.
suppressed it.
not
Said zero.
I guess suppress it.
He suppressed that aspect because he never acted ever
Yeah.
once. And the one time he saw someone who looked like Catherine, in the book at least, even he stopped himself from
Yeah.
going on a date with someone who looks like Catherine with a K.
Okay.
Like, he obviously feels all these things, but he values his friendship with Vincent. It's a value thing. If he
What
didn't
do you
care-
value more?
Yeah. If he didn't care that much about Vincent, if he cared more about Catherine, then he would have obviously slept with that succubus that looked like Catherine.
Because even like oh man, again, Vincent told everyone that he's cheating by, I guess he's accident women at the time. You don't know it's an accident.
Yeah.
And Johnny's like, oh shit, dude. But like, if he thought Catherine was more important than Vincent, he would beat the shit out of him immediately, or just tell him to break. Because he's the first one that does say you should break
Yeah.
up with them.
Yeah.
Then, but that's it though. He just once.
Yeah.
Like if he cared that much, he would have keep like pestering him.
Yeah.
To do it. Or whatever.
There's also one line where when they found out about Rin, and he's just like, "Yo, do you actually love her? Love
Yeah.
him?"
And that's when like when
And
if
he's just
I say
like-
yes, he
he's
punches
just-
you. Or
Yeah, he's
whatever.
like, "If you say yes, I'm gonna hit you."
Yeah.
Because I love the line he says before that, where he's like, "I get it, like it's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's like it can be a one-time thing." And that's just like, "But do you love Rin?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, like I don't know, man. Like the friendship between all three of those guys, it's
Yes.
like,
What I think is really interesting too is just like they're in their 30s, right?
yeah.
But Johnny is the most mature emotionally of them all.
He's definitely the most mature. of
Oh
all
yeah,
three of
he
them.
had to keep that in for like so long.
Yeah, but you know, that just goes to show you that even if there's a similar age group, everybody has their own life experiences and decides what they do based on that. You know.
Like this game.
Which brings us back to Omar's question.
Yeah.
Sam, would you cheat?
I would never cheat on someone. It's obviously like a breach of trust with someone. Obviously, if I'm down bad, I've thought about like helping someone cheat, but obviously it's like a breach of trust kind of thing. And I wouldn't help. Like on the one hand, it's like a carnal like instinct, like yeah, do what you want, like do what makes you happy. But deep down, like obviously, I know it's a bad thing, and I would either if I did do it, I would feel awful about it, kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't. What's really funny is I didn't think I would get so serious about a fucking video game. You know?
I said, well, that's like, I know a video game's good. Unless you like think these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, if I had a partner like my girlfriend or whatever, and she's like, oh, I cheated, like I just end it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give it a chance because if she's still, because there was that like the study where it's like, oh, people who cheat, like they don't cheat because they like hate their significant other. They did cheat for like some other reason or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, not even for a lust thing either. It's like just like something different.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if she's trying to explain to me, I wouldn't even want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Not because of like I hate her. I'd just be like, I don't even want to do that again. Like I would just lose that trust. We mentioned like that's like a breach of trust where like
100%.
even if I just watched the movie. I was so ironic. I didn't, not on purpose. I just started to watch a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen it.
And like that kind of whole plot is like that.
Yeah.
Basically, and it's like. And like in the movie, the character's like, I have to stop. Like I can't. Like you're gonna keep trying to like get me come back with you.
Yeah.
And who knows what's gonna happen after this or whatever. Like you could probably keep doing this because you hit it once.
Yeah.
You could probably hide it, more than once or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think for me, if I was in the opposite end, like, oh, like I could cheat. I mean, when I was 14, when I was probably at my peak horniness. I didn't do it. I don't think I could do it now. I'd just probably just take it in. Like I'll just be like, oh, I've been without a woman for my entire life.
Yeah.
If I had a girlfriend, I can keep surviving a couple more times without. If she doesn't want, like, oh, I'm not gonna do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if I still love her, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's like a fling, like how Johnny's case, like, oh, I'm not with you for like to be committed. I just want to just kind of do stuff or whatever. Like just we're just being boyfriend girlfriend, not like future marriage or whatever. And that's whatever.
I think if you gotta think about cheating with someone, you just have to call it with the other person.
Yeah.
Like obviously something's not going right in there. You just,
The moment you think about being with someone else, maybe it's just a sign that you shouldn't be with the first person to begin with.
You gotta stop the other relationship before you even think about doing anything else.
I have half of that.
Yeah.
Where like there are certain times. Yes.
I go for it.
There are certain times where like Sam mentioned earlier, where like it is. It's wrong, but sometimes obviously like doing the wrong thing is more enticing, not because like you think it's a good thing, but because it's wrong. I'm not saying like again, she's not okay or whatever.
I mean,
but like
what do you
just
mean
because
by
you
wrong?
If just because you think that, if not every situation would be the same in my opinion. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But like just it depends on the relationship you have in this thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like. Sometimes if you think that, like, say I have a girlfriend, I see a woman, and I'm just like, damn, like, oh shit, like I would, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff or whatever. Like, if I'm still like, yeah, but I still love my significant other or whatever, then like I think that's fine. But if you're like, what if I just dated her, and then like you do that like more than like 2 seconds or like 2 minutes, then you should be like, why am I still thinking about this?
Yeah.
Like that's when you're like. Maybe you should end this or whatever.
Maybe.
I mean, like I said, it also depends on like what you think is wrong. Because like for me, like I'm still not over my girl from high school, but I've talked to people. But since then, I've done things with other people, and like I mean, I feel kind of bad, but not really. Like I still feel bad, so it's wrong. But like I'm not gonna go back to that other girl because like, I mean it's been years and it's been like it'd be so fucking awkward. So like it's like. It depends on what you think is wrong.
Yeah, like, and that's Omar mentioned earlier that this game is all about gray area. Like, it's not telling you what's wrong or right. It's letting you decide what's wrong.
Yeah, what do you think? It's like is wrong or right or whatever.
And I mean that's why I think this is the best game we've played so far. And
it's a really good
It'll
game.
be really hard to top because if we fucking play like Nier Automata next or whatever else is on our
Hey, we
list.
can still talk about ass.
Yeah.
we'll go like to the deeper spectrum of cheating because she's hot.
Yeah. Would you cheat on your girlfriend
if she's all
with the
2B
from Nier?
2B? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean like I don't know. Like I can't gush more about this game. It's just so incredible how much it makes me think about real life instances and also entertains me. It's not like when I played Gone Home like 6 years ago, I kept thinking about like, wow, this story is so interesting and engrossing, but I didn't keep thinking about how fun the gameplay was. The story was good. This is a game where the story is good and the gameplay is so entertaining for me, man. Like I can't recommend this game enough.
I mean, you'll find out when we play BioShock Infinite. You can have both.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think like I don't know why I'm bringing up Last of Us again. We're like
as long as you don't shit on the first one.
I won't say anything.
You can shit on the second one as much as you want. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
We're like a lot of people like consider that like one of the best. I mean, one of the best PS4 game, right? Or
The
whatever.
best.
Or PS3 game. I don't. Whenever it came, I don't know. I think it did come out for both. But like. I've never played it, so I'm not. I can only say like hypothetically, but like the story is great, blah blah. But would you play it again like 2 times?
Yeah.
The
Where,
first
like,
one?
Yeah.
I play it at least once every 2 years.
That's
Really?
insane.
But would you rather play Catherine or for Last of Us?
Honestly, after I try to platinum Catherine, I probably won't play it again.
I think Alex's point is minute.
Because you're referring to The Last of Us, one of the greatest games of the PS4 era. Like that game has such a good story that it's replayable. It's so wholesome.
I'm just gonna have to disagree with that. I think honestly, I think Catherine is so like what's the word? Mutatable almost like where you can.
No, I mean,
not only is it so different each time you play it, I guess if you want it to be, but like in The Last of Us, it's like whatever difficulty you're playing it on. I'm sorry, this is becoming The Last of Us versus Catherine thing.
The game does not change.
Yeah, the game doesn't change.
It doesn't change,
But
But
day to day, you can play the same fucking level in
It's kinda
Catherine,
like-
and you will solve it differently.
Yes, but it's kind of like books. People like going back to old books because they're good. That's how I feel for Last of Us. I keep going back to it because I like the story. I don't want it to change.
Yeah.
now I'm ironic enough. Now I'm brought up the point. Now I'm more agree with Alex again.
Yes.
but not too far. We're like he's not wrong. We're like it just depends what you want to enjoy in things.
Yeah.
Where like I love.
Also, I mean, sorry, Omar. After this, you can go. But they're two completely different genres. This is a fucking romance fucking story. That's
100%.
a fucking zombie apocalypse story.
Where like my favorite movies. I've rewatched them all the time. Scott Pilgrim's the World. I've seen the movie so many times, and I will still rewatch it multiple times.
There's also people who don't rewatch movies. My sister criticizes me for rewatching movies.
Like that aspect. I'm not saying Sam's wrong. Sam, what he's saying is right. Not even because like it's his opinion. Like he's not wrong what he's saying either. Like what he's saying is basically facts.
We're both right.
But just that like, not everyone would see that. Like one person will play Catherine once and never want to play it ever again.
Yeah.
Not because it's bad. It's just like, oh, I did. That's it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That's how with visual novels, where like it's kind of the same thing. Like, there's multiple endings.
Yes.
I play the one girl I wanted to go out with, and then I rarely want to replay the game because I get depressed because now I'm like, well, now I want to keep going out with the girl I already gone with. So like, why do I want to go with a different girl or whatever?
No, I get that.
So like, there are games where like it just depends what you want out of it.
You don't want it to change, right?
I don't want it's.
Like we just talked about it earlier. Like you guys asked me why is BioShock Infinite on our list? Haven't you played it multiple times? I'm like, yeah, but it's been over a year and you guys haven't played it.
Yeah.
That's because it sucks.
It's just down to a taste thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's.
I mean, like we found out through this game, we all have different taste in women. We all have different taste in games. We all have different taste in how we want to enjoy our media.
Yeah. And
Like-
I don't know.
Like Alex is more JRPG at this point.
Yeah.
Sam is just terrible taste. And then
Every time we get a terrible game, it's Sam.
It's my game, yeah.
and then I'm just a depressed, lonely boy, and I play visual novels to fill the void and the emptiness that I have. But I think the fact that all three of us enjoy this game says something. I think
Yeah.
where like there is no JRPG element for Alex
No.
to be brain dead.
There's waifus.
I go out with a boy in this, and
there's
I'm fine with that. I'm
And
happy
there's
with
no
that.
shitty aspects for this game for me to like, I guess.
And there's no shitty. This is my childhood game.
There is a dominant woman for Sam to like.
Oh yeah.
But like this game, like the fact that it's written that way, it's created this way, to us to be able to say the things how we're
I
saying,
feel like there's something for everyone.
it's
in
great.
this.
yeah.
I wanted to bring this up way earlier. I completely blanked on this the puzzle thing real quick. It's not even that crazy. Where like I think you're a genius if you can make a game where there's so many crazy puzzle solving that like you're not wrong if you solve it a different way.
Yeah.
Like you have to make it so unique that like all of us can do the same puzzle and solve it differently, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say, I think you're a genius if you can solve any of these puzzles. And I was
There
about to
are-
say, thank you, Omar.
There are some puzzles I'm like, how did anyone solve
Oh
this?
yeah.
Thank
There's a
you,
couple
Omar.
puzzles I had to use a guide.
I was like,
for.
I can't do this blindly.
I did them all. I tried to guide like you guys told me like right after.
Yeah.
And I saw him solve it. I'm like, okay, I could do that. Why am I looking at a guide? I could have done a few more tries. I would have gotten it myself.
This guy's big brain.
And
over
then I
there.
stopped and I beat the whole game. And I'm like, Omar said this was hard. Where's the challenge?
That's how stupid I am. Huh?
And you know what the saddest part about this is that I don't
That we
think
beat it.
it's gonna be a long time before I think another game comes out like this, man.
Oh,
it's gonna be a
while.
Like Catherine, that's so like holistically accessible for each of us in terms of our experiences, in terms of our interests, in terms of what we want to do, in terms of the replayability of this game.
Yes. I'm sure there's a couple out there, but I'm sure none of us have it
Played
on our
it,
list.
Because it's the game like hits certain points where like other games would never.
Yeah.
Where like games that can have that kind of replayability, do whatever you want. Like we were talking about like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like that game is gonna probably like we'll also like connect in a weird way, in different way depending on how we play it.
I mean,
But it's not mature though. It's a game for kids.
I feel like that game has like it's more like you'll like it like based on where you found about it, how you played it, and all
like
that.
and that like that's half like part of what Catherine's good at.
Yeah.
And other games will play who have like more mature themes, but not that kind of gameplay. Will feel that way too.
Maybe with Catherine, we're also like all kind of clinging onto that like relationship we have with Persona.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean,
Honestly,
that's definitely
yeah.
the crux of it.
Honestly, for me, I feel this game there's no connection like to the Persona series and really much.
Besides the Joker showing up in the game.
you say that, but that's not in the actual game.
It's not
though,
the actual
first
game.
of all.
Yeah.
But no, I understand where it's coming from. Where it's an Atlus game. It's made by the Persona team. Like it automatically grabs our interest, and then it shows why we should care.
If this
about
game
it
wasn't made by Atlus, we probably wouldn't have heard of it.
No.
I think for me, I think I mentioned earlier, where like I learned out like a lot about the game, and I didn't want to play it, and I didn't care that it was Atlus. Like I just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to play other Atlus games that are not Persona because the Shin Megami Tensei games or whatever, that shit was just boring to me. I don't care. I don't care
But
about that shit.
you know about them.
Yeah, but like just because I know a lot about, I know a lot of games that are out. It doesn't mean I want to do anything about it though. Where like I know about this game even without Alex. My brother played it anyways. I would have saw it anyways. And I was like, oh, Atlus. And then I immediately was like, I don't want to play this. Yeah. So I think me coming in, I didn't come in negative, but I came with like least giving a shit about it. And I think it just hit me like, again, because it's not even, it doesn't even connect with Persona at all.
I see where you're coming from because I didn't want to touch this game at all too, but just the knowing that the people who made Persona made this game, like I'm like, maybe I should try it. I don't know, like just knowing about it. It's always like lingering in your head. Like
I think for you
it
guys,
might be good.
Not for me though.
You really? Think
I was
so?
like, if this was disappointing, I wouldn't put it past it because I was already kind of expecting it to be disappointing.
Yeah.
So when I played it, I really enjoyed it. I was never like, this is like Persona, not once.
No.
I mean, no,
except for the voice actors because they're in the fucking games.
I didn't have the feeling at all either. I mean, besides the cutscenes. I forgot to mention this, but did you also feel like the cutscenes were like so?
I think
it's 3D animations like Persona 5, like gameplay all like Persona 5, but the cutscenes straight from fucking Persona 3. Like the shading and everything, they're not as detailed. They look like Persona 3 cutscenes.
The animated cutscenes?
Yeah, the animated cutscenes.
Yeah, they look kind of
jank.
I was talking about the 3D models.
The 3D models look like Persona 5 models.
Though I had an issue with those. Not because it looked like Persona 5. I had the exact same issue with Persona 5.
They look better than Persona 5 models.
I have an issue. They have the same issue I have with both of those games. Royal 5, all of them fucking ones, is that it just feels their movements are so inhuman. Some of their body movements are really weird.
Like Vincent has these weird faces every once in a while,
and then like Toby like moves really weird. Something like he moves his hands in a weird ass like robotic way.
Yeah,
but I think this just adds to the idea that it's a TV show.
But I'm saying like Persona 5 has the same issue. I'm not saying it's this game. I'm saying like this that animation way, the way they animate some stuff. It just looks so inhuman.
These two games were developed together, and they're the first times they're using these models. I'm sure they're gonna develop and be better.
I'm only saying because this came out 2020.
Yeah,
but so and then Royal, I have the exact same issues. I don't think they improved it at all.
Yeah, because this isn't.
I don't think it will improve.
This is the same game, just upgraded. It's not a whole remaster or remake.
I'm saying I don't think it's gonna get better. Not because like I just think they're just gonna keep using that kind of like style of doing it. I think, and I'm not saying. I also think Atlas not the only company that does that kind of stuff. Where sometimes they'll have like characters and then they'll randomly do like a weird movement and they'll kind of go back to being idle. And I think this games just do that sometimes.
I mean, like I said, like this is a brand new engine, a brand new model. Like they're gonna develop it further.
Yeah, like they've got time.
Like Persona 3, we talked about that, like that hugging scene with what's her name?
Fuka-chan?
No, the other one. It starts with a C.
You can hug women in Persona 3.
the one that hates you if you hug her.
I don't know. Chihiro,
yes. Like that hugging scene with Chihiro was so weird, and in Persona 4, like the animations for that like just look better than Persona 3.
If anything, what I have to say about Atlus, and this will be my last thing about this, is just that they consistently get better.
Yes.
Like you can see the development for Persona 3 to Persona 4 to
Same
Catherine.
Engine, it just looks better.
Yeah, to Catherine to Persona 5 to Full Body to Royal. Everything they did wrong in the last game, I feel like it's remedied in the next game. Even though Alex disagrees with me, the new content in Full Body, while it seems jarring, in Royal it's so much more blended in and better. I mean, I think it's better. And I mean, I'm excited for their new projects and all that stuff. I still have to play SMT5. I personally love the
Strikers.
SMT games, and I'm not playing Strikers.
Try it out, please.
I don't try Catherine before you try Strikers, man.
Yes, I agree with
I
that.
have no idea how you're gonna edit this. I'm very interested. I Ironically enough, I kind of disagree with what you kind of just said.
Really?
Again, I don't know how much you want to actually keep it because we're just going on tangents at this point.
Yeah.
We're not really talking about
We're
anything.
getting close to 3.5 hours.
I know, but I do want to say something. No. Let me finish with what you say. Because Sam was like, "Oh, Persona 3, then 4, 5, they get better." I actually think they get worse over time.
Really?
How?
I think they ironically enough they lose what's good about each game, and then they just change what's good about like each one.
Okay.
Like in my opinion, Persona 3 story is the best story and it never got better after that.
Okay.
Persona 4's characters are the best story.
What
And
does
Persona
that
5 has the best artistic.
What does that have to do with the graphics that you are?
We're not talking about the that's
We're talking
a
about in
separate
general.
thing. I'm talking about in general.
Like the process.
They're only getting one good thing and then they're changing it and then they don't get better over time.
But your whole problem with Catherine's models is
No, we're not talking about the models anymore. We're not talking about the models anymore.
We're talking
I'm talking
about
about the
Atlus
company
and stuff.
itself.
Yeah.
Because he said they're consistent. I'm like, I think they're not. Persona 3's story is the best, but the artistic because it's older. Persona 4's characters are the best, and the story was fine. And Persona 5 is the best artistic, but it had the worst story, the worst characters. So it got worse. The only good thing about it was the engine because it's a newer game, the artistic style. So they didn't get better. That's what I'm trying to say. That in my opinion, it didn't get better. In my opinion, they're getting worse. Not in the aspect of like they're making worse games. They're just not doing the best they should be doing.
They're not doing better than the last thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I was gonna say you don't have to keep the same saying, but we're just talking now.
I played a bit of SMT 3.
What you like? What's your favorite Persona, Sam?
I mean, it's the one I played for Persona 5. Yeah.
What about yours?
I have to say 5 because of the
5?
first one, but
Okay.
I can agree that's the worst story, the
what's
worst
your
characters.
favorite everything? Not just because everyone's gonna say
3.
5 because aesthetically
3.
3. I like 4 better.
Wait. Hang on. What's your favorite Atlus game?
Well, I guess it has to be 3. I only played Persona 3, 4, 5, and then
'Cause
Catherine.
my favorite Atlus game is Catherine.
Oh, okay. We're
I think, like, even though as much as I love Persona 5,
that's why Catherine's so
I think
weird.
Catherine is better.
Because why Catherine's so weird to me? Because it's everything that Persona 5, 3, and 4 fused is in Catherine. The best story, art, and the characters, and it's a 2011 game.
Yeah.
It's all depends on what you like. Like you said, Persona.
Did you
4,
like the Persona 5 story?
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was good,
It was
yeah.
good. Yeah.
I
But
thought
you
it was okay.
You
It was
said Persona
subpar.
4 had the best cast and a good story.
Yeah.
What's stopping it from being number 1 for you?
Because Persona 3 has a way better story.
Yeah, a way better story. What about the characters? They're shit.
I feel like
They're
the
still-
cast,
they-
I feel like even though I didn't beat Persona 3, I think the cast is weak, man.
And then the epilogue, the end, they messed up Yukari's
Well, I
character.
didn't do any of that.
Like way beyond repair.
Anyways.
So why is 3 your favorite?
Let's get away from this.
I'm
whole-
saying you can edit all this out. Cause I'm good at because we're not gonna be able to talk about this again.
just keep it.
Because I think Persona 4, it's like it's. I feel like it's trying to be bigger than it is trying. It is, but I don't think it is as much though. I think one.
I don't think we're trying at all. I think it's just a good game.
I'm not saying it's a bad.
I mean,
I'm
like I
not.
said,
I think you're misunderstanding. I'm saying it's trash. I'm not saying they're bad. I
just
love all 3 games.
I'm just trying to tell you, it all depends on what your preference is for being a good game. Like, that's it.
I just think
we could all have good games.
I just
our
think-
favorite games.
I just think it's weird that Persona 3 was such a great story, and then it kind of just got dumber and dumber as time went on.
I guess. I don't know.
Like it got more simple and simpler.
What's dumber than not being able to control your characters? Come on.
That's gameplay, though, not the story. That's what I'm saying. Story.
Anyways.
And that's why I think Catherine is so good.
Yeah.
It takes all the
Okay.
good stuff from the Persona games and makes a good game.
Yeah.
And a full body. A full body is what Catherine full body. Like, it's the perfect Atlus game that I wish all Atlus games were like.
Yeah.
That's why I view
Okay.
Catherine full body.
If
as.
Persona was as long as Catherine but as good as Catherine, I would buy everyone. Like without
I
a-
would
if,
100% all of them.
if Strikers was as good in terms of story and quality of gameplay, I would totally buy that.
That's something I could agree with.
You know?
It was too long of a game. I will admit that.
And I don't know, it's just how good the game is. But I think we've gushed enough about this game.
I want to make a joke. I
make your
keep,
joke.
Make your
keep
joke,
wanting to
Omar.
make the
Make
joke,
your
but
joke.
I keep missing the time.
It doesn't matter.
And you were
Make
like,
your
"This is the best game we played." That's not a high bar.
We're at the.
That's not a high bar.
We've only played Uncharted 1, Resident Evil 1, and then 999.
Well, here's on my list is going Catherine, Resident Evil, Uncharted, 999. That's me right now.
Mine's same as yours. Just switch Uncharted with 999.
Wow.
Catherine, Resident Evil, 999 Uncharted.
Yes, we have the same list. On
Okay.
That's not a high bar again.
And you know what we should do next? We should choose the next fucking game.
Vincent, what did you think of my performance?
Oh,
Fuck Catherine. No, I'm just kidding. We all hated Catherine.
it was good.
Now let's go to a worse game potentially. But before that, we gotta pick whose game is whose.
Yeah.
Now that all three of us are in contention,
I got
again.
the wheel with our names.
The Wheel of Fortune.
So let's
it's not
see
copyrighted.
Whose game are we gonna pick next?
I'm like hoping it's not me. I don't want to be the next one disappointing.
I kind of want it to be me.
As you say that.
might
Shit!
Oh
my God.
It's me.
It's an Omar
We
game.
got an Omar game.
Now you know it's bad when I'm upset. Because my game is the most disappointing game.
I mean-
so I'm already like, oh shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to play Nier Automata.
I kind of want to play Undertale.
That too.
That's not under my list.
That's on my
That's not
list.
mine.
I don't know whose list that is on.
That's his.
All
I
right.
there you go. All
I
right,
have no
let's
idea
pick
what
the
game
list
it is.
now. Let's go,
Why'd you double
baby.
tap that?
Just to get a couple more.
Like a
spins.
woman. Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Danganronpa.
It should have been Faith.
Oh God.
This is bad.
The first Danganronpa, right? Just the first one? Or
Let's
what do we have to do?
respin it. Keep respinning it. It's the first one.
Not another
Okay.
visual
I feel
novel.
like this is gonna go down immediately.
You think?
You don't want to be upshined by Catherine. Is that it?
That's not the game we should play after Catherine though. That's what I'm saying. That's bad.
No. it's fine,
it's
man.
what the wheel said.
I'm only
wheel
scared because
decides.
you're not gonna like it.
I didn't
You don't
like
999. This is not gonna get better. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. We'll see.
Omar, I'm not.
I
gonna
might like it.
Why the fuck? Why did we let this on the list then?
I like 999 because I heard good things about it, but I
No.
also heard things about the fan base.
Just so we're clear,
Fan base.
I've heard Danganronpa is great. More so than 999. So I will play just the first one, right?
No, we gotta play all three. Like, yeah, of course we're playing the fucking first one. We're not gonna just not play the first one.
Okay.
I have the disc.
So we're playing all three of them.
Shit, I ain't gonna stop you.
Oh, I know. Just the first one's fine.
I'll play the first Danganronpa just for you, Omar.
I won't play it, and I'll just pretend like I did.
Okay.
I feel like you did that for 999.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I though?
I really feel like
Okay,
you
wait.
did.
The first Danganronpa. Here, let's
Yes.
not fucking get sidetracked. Danganronpa is our next game for next month. For the month of June, we are playing Danganronpa, the first one. We're gonna probably play the PS4.
Trigger
one.
happy.
Trigger happy, whatever. Say it again.
I think it's Danganronpa Trigger Happy, if I remember correctly.
We're gonna play that
Wait.
version of the game.
That's the name of the game.
Oh.
Isn't it Trigger Happy Havoc? Or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
there's another word after that. No one ever says
Where can
it.
we find this game, Omar? You're the most sober. Let us know.
In my house.
What system is it on?
It's on the computer,
Okay.
and the PS4.
Okay.
I don't think it's on Xbox.
Is it expensive?
No.
Okay.
You can. I think the systems. It's like 999. You have to buy the first one and the second one
Yeah.
together. But on the computer, you can just buy them
Okay.
individually. But you're gonna have to buy the first two together.
Am I really?
That's fun.
Yeah,
Is
it's they're bundled together. You
Is it
can't.
$20 again? I hope
Uh,
it's $20 again. I don't want.
I wouldn't want to confirm or deny anything.
If it's more than $20, we're reshuffling. See you next time, guys.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this like how I'm hating this.
When are we doing another drunk episode? That's
Never
the question.
again.
I really think we will not do another drunk episode. The only reason we drank is for the theming of the episode.
Can we have like one drink?
We'll have one drink.
One
in the
or
next
two.
Alex can have multiple drinks.
I can.
Samuel cannot.
one. I can have one twisted tea.
Samuel's a
Two.
lightweight.
I am.
I like a little bit of a drunk Sam.
I don't for content. I hate being the professional of the
We will
three.
see
you
you.
hate being the one that gets shit on.
Shut up.
I hate being the one that has to tame us. All right? That's
You
what
don't
I'm
have to
saying.
edit this episode. Fuck you. Anyways,
That doesn't change my joy.
we will see you in June. Danganronpa, the first game. Play it wherever you want. Play it with us.
See
I love you,
guys
baby.
later.
Bye bye.
And as they say in Japan, fuck you. What's